Get the perfect Christmas gift at the right price with whatsthebest.co.uk. Smart TVs or electric toothbrushes, gift subscription boxes or stocking fillers. Whatever you're buying, our expert team have rated and shortlisted hundreds of products at the right price for you. Save cash and shop savvy this Christmas at whatsthebest.co.uk. We operate an affiliate commission policy. See website for details.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Luker's Land Rover, the new name for Taggarts. The same friendly faces and great service with a new name above the door. It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard as we welcome back Premiership Saturdays after the break. Celtic are looking to restore their 9-point lead when they head to Aberdeen this lunchtime. The weather is trying its best to ruin the return though. Fir Park and the Tony Macaroni are off, leaving only Hearts Killie and Ross County St Johnstone in the top flight. And it's our Cash for Kids sports auction as we look to raise big money for local children in return for some top sporting prizes. I'm Gordon Duncan, and joining me in the studio is Gordon Dalziel, Mark Wilson and Hugh Keevins.
6 out of 7 home games won by Aberdeen before the World Cup break. 14 league games won out of 15 by Celtic before the World Cup break. But there's no such thing as momentum now because we've been in limbo for 5 weeks because of that World Cup break. The only numbers that are relevant today for Celtic, they were 9 points in front of Rangers. They are now, following Rangers' win over Hibs on Thursday, 6 points in front of Rangers. They have to address that today. It's statement time for Ange Postecoglou.
Yep, looking forward to today, Gordon. What a Saturday we've got in store. Main event, 12:30, Celtic away to Aberdeen. Always a tough place to go. And then the rest of the fixtures to follow. There have been some casualties due to weather, but still plenty of entertainment today. And the Cash for Kids auction. What a fantastic afternoon.
Like the boy said, really delighted to be back to domestic football. It started Thursday night, Rangers Hibs. Looking forward to what I'd say would be a terrific game at Pittodrie. Aberdeen Celtic, and then some of the games this afternoon. I'm in with the lads here. Great to be back.
Absolutely. Although the weather's trying its best, we've got just enough top flight action to keep us going. The lower leagues have been decimated as well, particularly the Championship. Dundee Cove, Hamilton Inverness, Morton Queen's Park all off also, and various others down the divisions. But if anyone who's ever listened on this day of the year, because we do it every year, it is our Cash for Kids sports auction, and this is a vitally important day for us. We try our best to raise a lot of money. I mean, serious amounts of cash, all for the children right here on our doorsteps that need your help the most. So we'll go to Aberdeen in just a second to get the team news, but before we do that, I've got some important prizes to tell you about, because we will give away different prizes every hour throughout the afternoon. But the following 3 packages are all day prizes, so you have all day to donate in these, because these are the big prizes. These are the ones that are going to run from now until the end of the show, and you need to get your bids in as quickly as you can to make sure you take that place in the driving seat. But these are going to run all day, so I want to set them up and give you as much time as possible. Prize number 1, feast your ears on this, Mark Wilson, Hugh Keevins and Gordon Dalziel. It's called All Roads Lead to Hampden. It's been donated by John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes, so thanks to John. It is Superbox hospitality at Hampden for both the League Cup final and the Scottish Cup final. It's for 2 people. The ultimate football hospitality in the Superbox. A unique culinary and guest experience. I know you're a sort of pie and bovril man, Hugh, but Mark Wilson's a bit more
refined,
sophisticated. You get to enjoy the match with panoramic views of the pitch from a private balcony in the centre of the South Stand. I don't know if you've seen these super boxes before. They're fantastic. So you and a family member or a friend, not only at the League Cup final, but the Scottish Cup final as well. Now think about what that means in football terms, right? That could be two parts of a treble for your team and you get to witness it. It might be Michael Beale's first piece of silverware. It might be Ange Postecoglou getting that treble that you Celtic fans fully believe he can get. It might be an absolute history making day for Motherwell or St Mirren or Kilmarnock or whoever else. So there is a lot to think about there. Superbox hospitality for both the League Cup final and the Scottish Cup final for two people. An unbelievable prize, right? So that's prize one for our all-day selection. Now, number two, talk about money can't buy. It can on this occasion. This is not the type of thing you can just rock up to the shop. How good does this sound? An Aston Villa package with a meet and greet with Scotland talisman John McGinn. 2 nights accommodation in a 4-star hotel in Birmingham. 2 VIP box tickets to the game of your choice at Villa Park before the end of the season. It includes food, it includes drinks, pre-match, half-time and full-time. You get a signed match day shirt by John McGinn, and you get to meet and greet after the game with the great man himself.
That's a belter, that one.
An unbelievable prize, that. Think of the Scotland fans out there that would mean the world to.
I take it that John's donated that prize.
Yes, he has indeed. So obviously, thanks very much to John.
That's the type of boy he is.
And the third and final one, you'll have heard of this all week because I've been banging on about it. Mark Wilson and I have a terrible video on social media if you want to check it out. This is the one that you can text to win. Now, this is really important to us for a number of reasons, right? Because obviously we want to raise a lot of money for Cash for Kids. But believe me, I am fully aware that so many of you listening think, well, I can't bid for big prizes. I don't have spare hundreds or thousands of pounds to bid for those prizes, and we're really conscious of that. So this is why we like to get everyone involved as well. For a voluntary £5 donation plus your standard network rate message, you could win a brand new Mercedes-Benz A-Class for that price. A £5 donation to Cash for Kids, a standard network rate message, and all you need to do is send the text. That's 84901. Text CAR to 84901. Every penny goes to Cash for Kids. You can cancel that donation by replying cancel within 60 minutes of receiving our text confirmation. But if you want to get involved in that one does run till 6 o'clock, and that's texting CAR to 84901. All roads lead to Hampden. Scottish Cup final, League Cup final, VIP hospitality for 2. Aston Villa meet and greet, John McGinn signed shirt, 2 nights accommodation. Those prizes right now. Get your calls in 0141 565 2468. 0141 565 2468. These are running all day from now until 6 o'clock.
And if the car gets stuck in the snow, we will guarantee that Ange Postecoglou will come out and he will dig you out.
Disclaimer, that might not actually happen. But 0141 565 2468. And every year, Hugh Keevins, we wish we didn't have to do this sports auction, but the reality is we do. And hopefully we can make a big difference this afternoon.
The awful thing is the figures you read out on a nightly basis, Gordon, are getting scarier. Not better, they're getting scarier. And therefore Cash for Kids on an annual basis becomes ever more necessary. It has always been this radio station's finest hour, but now we are dealing with crisis, and we need your money more than ever.
0141 565 2468. That is your auction number for this afternoon. Plenty of more fantastic prizes throughout the day, but for now I'm giving you the all day prizes. The meet and greet with John McGinn, the signed shirt, the hospitality, and the Hampden prize. All roads lead to Hampden. The 2 cup finals with the hospitality. You can bid from now until 6 o'clock, and it's all sponsored today by Central Car Auction. So thank you very much to the good folks there. 0141 565 2468. And the great thing about this day is we spin a lot of plates. Not only do we raise a lot of money, but we've got great football to look forward to as well. So with that in mind, let's go to Pittodrie and speak to Andrew McLean.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, I wish I had some of that super box hospitality today, because it is absolutely freezing here at Pittodrie. There's been some snow up here as well, but the pitch is clear. The surrounding areas have been deemed safe, and we're good to go for Aberdeen against Celtic. It was an entertaining return to the Premiership on Thursday, wasn't it, at Ibrox? So let's hope for more of the same here today. And there's normally plenty of goals and a good bit of drama when these two meet here. And Hugh mentioned it at the start, Aberdeen have this really good home record this season. They've won their last 6. They've scored 20 goals in those matches as well. That'll give them some belief that they can maybe cause an upset here. And Jim Goodwin said this week, he feels they're capable of beating anyone in the Premiership on their day. However, Celtic just have a good record in general, don't they? 14 wins from 15 Premiership matches before the World Cup break. They had really good momentum momentum. So we'll see if it's a case of just being able to pick up where they left off 5 weeks ago. And that 5 weeks has been a productive spell for Callum McGregor as well. A bit of a spoiler here, but he's straight back into the starting 11. I'll give you the Aberdeen team first. It's Kellaroos in goal for them. It's a back three of Ross McCrory, Anthony Stewart and Jack McKenzie. Matty Kennedy and Hayden Coulson are the wing backs. The three central midfielders, Ilber Ramadani, Connor Barron and Leighton Clarkson. It's Duke and Bojan Miovski, the two up top. The substitutes, Lewis, Morris, Bosoyan, Hayes, Duncan, Richardson, Babbage, Marshall and Ramirez. As for Celtic, Callum McGregor, as I said, straight back into the starting lineup, as is Dyson Maida after his World Cup exploit. So Joe Hart in goal for them today. The back four, Anthony Ralston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt and Greg Taylor. The midfield three, Callum McGregor, Matt O'Reilly and Rayo Hatate, Jota, Dyson Maida and Kyogo. The front three. The substitutes, Seagrace, Jens, Giacomakis, Abada, Moy, Turnbull, Bernabe, Forrest, Lawal. The referee for this one is Stephen McLean and the VAR is Kevin Clancy.
Yeah, well, it's as you would expect. I thought the captain would come back. He is the leader, and Ange Postecoglou likes the inspirational factor where Callum McGregor is concerned. The Dyson Maeda can be proud of himself the way he performed in Qatar at the World Cup. You get many admirers who had never seen anyone quite like him before. So it's a strong Celtic team. Obviously minus Juranovic, who's got to play in the world's worst match today in Qatar. But Anthony Ralston has been an able deputy. It's a strong Celtic team and a strong Aberdeen team. I mean, Duke, Miovski, Kyogo, Jota.
Don't say it. And you're about to say there's no way this game can finish 0-0. If you do that to us today, I'll never forgive you.
There's no way this game can finish 0-0.
Mark Wilson, I think the headline would be the return of Celtic captain Callum McGregor.
Yeah, and they coped pretty well without him, but I mean, he is a class above the rest in that side, a real standout. So Ange Postecoglou will be delighted that he's back fit, and he can also move O'Reilly up one to his more preferred position. But Hugh's right, it's a strong Celtic side, but you have to look at the other side as well. And there's danger written all over this game for Celtic. When you look at that front line, Miovski and Duke up against you, and behind them Barron and Clarkson, it's a good Aberdeen side who have been performing well at home. So Celtic have to be on it if they're going to take 3 points from this today.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the two lineups are very attacking. I'm with you. Let's go out and a thing right away. I think there'll be plenty of goals here today. I think the teams are attacking. Aberdeen will fancy this today. First game back after the World Cup. A good attacking lineup. Two guys up top that know where the back in it is. But if you look at that Celtic side, it's just full of quality, especially middle to front. I think there's bags of goals there. So I fancy Celtic strongly today, but they'll need to be at the top of their game. If they're below par, then Aberdeen will fancy this.
Andrew McLean, there's been a lot of talk other grounds because the matches are all off. I don't know if was this one ever in danger, everything okay up there?
I think the only danger would have been the surrounding areas. Sometimes matches do get called off because of safety concerns about fans getting to the games, but the roads on the way up here and in the surrounding areas all seem fine. The pitch looks absolutely fine. I mean, it's slightly cut up a bit, which you'd expect at this time of year because it's a tough job keeping these pitches in really good condition, but it looks good. The players out there warming up at the moment, and the weather isn't really going to have any impact on this game at all today.
What's been the sort of mood, if you like, this week, Andrew? Everyone knows how good Celtic have been. The league table tells you that. For Aberdeen, it's very much a case of struggled at times on the road, but a very good recent home record as well, as Hugh mentioned.
Yeah, that recent home record is absolutely incredible, really. When you look at it, any team outside of Celtic and Rangers that's on a run like this, you don't often see it. 6 wins on the bounce here at Pittodrie, and I mentioned that they've scored 20 goals in that time. They've had a couple of 4s in that spell, and you look at the form of the likes of Duke and Miovski, and Aberdeen have looked really, really dangerous since they've switched to this back three with the two up top. You wondered whether Jim Goodwin might alter it with the visit of Celtic today, if it was something that he was going to stick with, because it is a very attacking lineup that he's gone for in these recent weeks, but it's worked, and that's why he's not going to change it. He says on their day he feels they're capable of beating any Premiership side. He's desperate for them to fight off the challenge of the likes of Hearts and finish in third place. These aren't the types of games that they're necessarily expecting to get 3 points in, but they feel that if they put in a good performance today, they can certainly take a point or even all 3 if it goes well.
I suppose that the thing that's worth considering, Mark, is we've just never been here before. We've just never had a random 5-week break, November into December. Of course, early season form would suggest that Celtic are clearly dominant and in a very good position to go on and win this league, but we've just got no idea what impact this break is going to have on Celtic or any other team for that matter.
Well, we obviously had the many winter breaks before, and teams came back for that in different form.
Was that usually 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. And it did have an effect on some teams. I remember Rangers coming back and not dealing with that particularly well, and Celtic steamrolled ahead. But 5 weeks, especially long. But you've got a mix. So you've got Carter Vickers and obviously Maeda, who's been away on World Cup duty, so they've still been ticking over. Players have had a holiday. You would think it would benefit them. You would think it would just, rejuvenate them a wee bit when maybe legs were getting a bit tired with all the, Champions League games that these players had to go through. So you'd think it would work in their favour, but you can never tell until you see, obviously, the first 45 minutes of this game.
I can't think, Mark, of this being the resumption of the season. I have to think of this as a new season, because it's a 5 week break. There is no momentum. There's no point in going on about Aberdeen's 6 home wins out of 7 or Celtic's 14 league wins out of 15, because that was 5 weeks ago.
It still shows what they're capable of, though, I suppose, doesn't it? Both sides.
No one's gone away. All the top men are still there. But you had a Rangers team that were hopeless before the World Cup break, and they used the 5 weeks to get rid of the manager, bring in a new one, and they weren't any great shakes on Thursday night, but they dug out a result which they were not doing in the old season that ended when the World Cup began. So for me, it's not about momentum, it's not about what you did prior to the World Cup break, it's about what you do from now in this, albeit mini season.
I think it's to use a break, Hugh, to get some positives out of, if you went into the break and you weren't in good form like some teams were. Celtic weren't in that case, but where the positive came for Celtic in the break, and you've got to say they've got their best player back, they've got their captain, their leader back. He'll be desperate to get going. I know what you're saying about momentum, I totally agree with that. I just look at quality on the pitch, and I think Celtic's bags of it.
We're now using all the different buzzwords. Momentum, that's true what Hugh says, but it's not as if the Celtic players are suddenly going to have lost confidence over the break. They'll still be fully confident. You mentioned McGregor. Maeda might come back, rejuvenated, having had a generally positive World Cup experience. Juranovic isn't back yet, and it's different because people expect him to be sold. Aaron Moy, a very good World Cup as well. I know he doesn't start today, so again, wonder what impact that has. I think things like that, stories like that, help a squad. I think you asked me about that before, when players went away in international duty and came back off a good spell. Did it affect the squad? I think it did. I think the guys that were left behind would have been rooting for their teammates, and it just brings everybody together that bit closer. And look, Maeda starts today. Carter Vicker didn't get much game time at the World Cup, but Maeda did, and he's got to be in a good frame of mind coming into this game. He'll probably play a different role today than he did for Japan, but it's one he's more than capable of. So, looking forward to seeing Jota back in action, Kyogo, but the big one, Daz was saying, McGregor. How much game time has he actually had? I take it he would have played last week against Rennes. Yeah. But I think he featured in both of those sort of bounce games that Celtic played. Andrew McLean, is that right?
Yes, you're correct.
So
not a lot of game time since October, since he's been out. So it's a big one for him today, but he's got the quality just to.
Do you know what I'm looking forward to most of all? I've looked at two teams, I've looked at setups, two different formations. Aberdeen look like they're going to be brave today. They're playing 3 at the back. They're going to push the 2 wing backs. Now this is where they've got to be brave. They've got to push them high up the pitch, which leaves them a little bit exposed to Maeda and Jota on the flanks if they lose the ball. So I think tactically it's got to be brilliant.
Yeah, if you were looking at any attacking player outside the top 2, Mark, that is capable of hurting the top 2, Duke would be one of them. And obviously Miovski's got that good goal scoring record as well. Remember, we used to look at guys like Martin Boyle and talk about outside the top 2, these are the types of guys that can hurt you. It took Duke a while. I think he'd trying to get fitness levels up to the right place. He's clearly not finished article or bang at it 100% of the time, but Celtic will know fine well what he's capable of, I'm sure.
Good player, good attributes. He's quick. When he gets in the box, he's not scared to go down, so Celtic players need to be careful about that as well. But he's a real threat, and when he's played up there with Miovski, there is goals in the side. And I touched on it earlier, when you look behind him, who's supplying him? the young boy Barron, terrific player, but Clarkson as well, great player. Now we've seen Aberdeen go to Ibrox. Remember, for the first 20 minutes they looked great and going forward, and they were open, then they scored their goal. It's at the back, like Daz says, will be maybe a wee bit of a concern if they play that open today.
At the back for Celtic as well, for me, Starfelt is an Achilles heel. I think the Celtic fans can't wait to get Kobayashi in the team and get Starfelt out.
Oh, I'm not sure they'd agree with you.
No, I've got to disagree with that, Hugh. I think that the partnership, I know that sometimes it comes under the spotlight because Carter Vickers is usually so steady.
Look at the number of goals he conceded last season.
I'll get back to Gordon. Seeing positions like that, partnerships are so important. I think Carter Vickers and Starfelt are a terrific partnership.
Let's hear from both managers quickly, shall we? Ange Postecoglou is obviously the visitor. Let's start with the home boss then, Jim Goodwin.
We'll have a very good crowd here, I would imagine, a very expectant home crowd as well. The fans have been outstanding for us this season, both at home and on the road, and we don't want to disappoint them first and foremost. But I do believe we're playing the best team in the country. I think that's been proven up to now. They've got a huge advantage from a points tally in terms on Rangers in second place. They've scored, as I said, in excess of 50 goals. They've got real quality throughout their team, but I do believe that any team is capable of beating anyone else on the day. And
look, it's always a tough game. Even last year, we won there twice. Tough games, both of them. So you expect a tough game, and you're right. Their home form's great, but I think it's probably been missed on a few people. But our away form's not bad either.
Don't forget, we've got a big game coming up, and we're going to go back live to Pittodrie for kick-off, but it is also our Cash for Kids sports auction. So let me quickly remind you of the 3 all-day prizes that you need to get involved in, because the bids are already starting. All roads lead to Hampden. That's your VIP hospitality for 2 people to both the League Cup final and the Scottish Cup final. It's an unbelievable prize. Alan Jess is out in the lead with a bid of 1,250, and we do thank Alan for his generosity. I'm sure even Alan knows that's worth more than 600 odd quid each, because it's an unbelievable prize. And same to Stuart Shaw, Cowell Building Supplies, thank you very much. He's gone £1,000 for the Aston Villa meet and greet with John McGinn. But again, hospitality, the Aston Villa game of your choice before the end of the season, nights in a hotel down there, a signed shirt from the man himself. I know that's going to go up before the end of the day, but great starting bids. 01415652468. Get your bids in, and of course the one that everyone can get involved in, because it only costs a £5 plus your text rate. Win a Mercedes-Benz A-Class by texting CAR to 84901. They all run till the end of the day, and we go back to Pittodrie next. And now just a quick note from our podcast sponsor Lookers, the new name for Taggarts across Glasgow and the West. We are proud to announce that Lookers is now the new name for Taggarts. Taggarts has been part of the Lookers Motor Group for nearly 20 years, and over time, being part of one of the largest multi-franchise dealer groups in the UK and Ireland, has helped Taggarts to provide a great customer experience, value and choice to their customers across Scotland, and that's something that will never change. And now they've decided, though, to change the name above the door to move forward as one. You'll find the same great service and friendly faces you've come to know at their Jaguar, Land Rover and Volvo showrooms, working hard to give the best experience every time. You can now browse and shop online for your next car at lookers.co.uk and choose from thousands of used cars in stock with home delivery available. You can also discover the latest new car offers, book a test drive and book your next service online. Although the name has changed above the door, everything else is staying exactly the same, and you can still expect the same great service and friendly faces when you visit in store. Lookers, the new name for Taggarts across Glasgow and the West.
Who said finding cheap motor insurance had to be hard? You can make finding cheap insurance easier with mustard.co.uk. Compare your car, van or bike insurance quickly and easily online by the team dedicated to helping you find the right policy. For an insurance quote that cuts the mustard, choose mustard.co.uk. Details online, authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
As it happens, and your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Yes, it's the Cash for Kids Sports Auction. We'll go live to our auction room for the first time in the not too distant future, but let's get things up and running at Pittodrie because the teams are coming out. Andrew McLean.
Yeah, just watching the Celtic substitutes making their way along the touchline there. Virtually every single one of them had a snood on, so it tells you what type of day it is. But the supporters here, they don't matter. It doesn't matter to them because they've been waiting, I think, impatiently to see their teams back in competitive action. It's been a long 5 weeks, but they're in full voice. The Aberdeen fans, especially the ones behind the goal to my right, the Celtic fans over to my left, both of them making a lot of noise, and they'll be really interested to see how their teams come back after this 5 weeks off. The teams have been on their travels, they played friendly matches, but this is what we all want to see. And it's, a competitive fixture between two really good sides. Both starting lineups look really strong as well. Celtic will be delighted that Callum McGregor, who's leading the team onto the pitch at the moment, that he's back. That'll also allow Matt O'Reilly a bit more freedom again. Carl Starfelt's back to full fitness too after an injury disrupted season. Jota, we saw him as well just before the World Cup break. He had a strong return from injury, so he'll be raring to get going, and we'll see if Cameron Carter-Vickers, Maida, Moy, if they're better off for their World Cup experiences as well. Aberdeen, they've made just the one change. It's Liam Scales who's dropped out. Of course, he's on loan from Celtic, so he can't play against them. Jack McKenzie has come in to replace him. He's more of a fullback, doesn't look as comfortable in that sort of wide left centre back role, so we'll see if that's something that Celtic will potentially look to exploit today. But Aberdeen do have goals. You talked about it just before the break. Miovski, he's the joint top goal scorer in the Premiership, 11 goals alongside Antonio Cholak, and then Duke, he's got 6 top flight goals himself this season. Leighton Clarkson, we've seen him score goals from midfield as well, so they'll be hoping that they can cause Celtic problems, but we've seen what Celtic are like in full flow as well, and they'll feel that if they can come here to Pittodrie and pick up where they left off, that they'll leave here with all 3 points. I'll give you the starting lineups as the teams break off after handshakes. Kellerus in goal for Aberdeen. The back three, Ross McCrory, Anthony Stewart and Jack McKenzie. Matty Kennedy and Hayden Coulson are the fullbacks for them. The midfield three, Elber Ramadani, Connor Barron and Leighton Clarkson. And the strike force of Duke and Miovski. If Jim Goodwin wants to turn to the bench, he's got Lewis, Morris, Besoyan, Hayes, Duncan, Richardson, Babbage, Marshall and Ramirez. As for Celtic, well, it's Joe Hart in goal for them. The back four, Anthony Ralston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Carl Starfelt and Greg Taylor. The midfield three, Captain Callum McGregor, Matt O'Reilly and Reo Hatate, Jota, Dyson Maida and Kyogo. The front three, the substitutes, Siegrist, Jens, Giacomakis, Abada, Moy, Turnbull, Bernabe, Forrest and Lawal. The referee for this one, Stephen McLean. The VAR is Kevin Clancy. The Celtic players have broken out from their huddle and we are just about to get underway here at Pittodrie.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements. Trade accounts available now. Call them today.
Come on then, Hugh Keevins, we've missed your hopeless predictions for the last few weeks. How's this one going to go?
Aberdeen 1, Celtic 2.
Mark Wilson.
Aberdeen 1, Celtic 3.
Gordon Dalziel.
2-0 Celtic.
There we are. We will find out between now and just after 2 o'clock. Strap yourselves in because not only do we have Aberdeen against Celtic, we've got some big games at 3 o'clock, and it's the Cash for Kids Sports Auction sponsored by Central Car Auctions today as well. So there is so much to get through. Undeniably the busiest and perhaps one of the most important shows of our season. We'll go live to the auction room in just a second. Let's just let this one settle in case we get any extremely early drama. Some early touches of the ball for the returning Celtic captain Callum McGregor. Gordon?
Yeah, and I think everyone concerned with Celtic's delighted to see him back, especially after his injury. Gordon, he's a big player, quality player, captain as well, leader, brings so much to the team. Mark highlighted it. They didn't really miss him because some of the football, but look, you want your best players in the team as soon as you can, and he certainly fits into that bracket.
Early attack for Celtic, patient stuff beginning from Callum McGregor, then swept into the box by Maida and just cut out. So as you would expect, Celtic trying to start set a tone, Hugh, and go out quickly
and doing it impressively, but the final ball wasn't good enough and it was cleared. On a fashion note, you can tell the Glasgow boys in the team. There's you get Anthony Ralston, short sleeve shirt, no gloves. The rest of them, gloves all over the place. But the Glasgow boys know how to do it.
How are you? You got your perma grips on this morning from Timson's? Because that car park, I thought we were in
Oh, terrible.
I thought we were in East Kilbride Shopping Centre at the ice rink when I was coming in. I was worried for myself, obviously, but then for our elderly panellists like Gordon Dalziel and Hugh Keevins.
Well, I ordered a son-in-law to bring the car round to the front, so that I could come out majestically. And
you have swapped the shoes, haven't you? I noticed
I have, yes.
Got in. How are you? Because you, of course, are waiting on the big knee operation as well. Everything okay?
Yeah, it's going through just after January, but I was a bit concerned because I've got to still protect the hip, Gordon. My handicap's down. I can't let that go.
Oh, jeez. Honestly, I saw Mark Wilson get dropped off right at the door as well. Absolute diva.
Yeah.
Did you?
And then I walked in with a car key in my pocket, so the good lady couldn't drive away. Had the key.
Well,
had to skate back out and give her it.
Listen, she'll not be bothered with that. She's running about with Tom Cruise. She's not interested in it.
Richard, do you remember? Call me Tom Cruise if you want.
We'll get back to that later in the show. And I want to get back to your knee operation as well, because I've got a special request, but we'll deal with that later on. It's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0, 2.5 on the clock. Celtic knocking at the door. Aberdeen sitting deep for now and trying to stay in a shape. We will bring you any goals or any major action when it happens, but let's for the first time this afternoon go to our auction room. Central Car Auction sponsoring our Cash for Kids sports auction today, and we can speak to Cassie, who's going to give you an update on where the bids are and a recap of those all day prizes. Take it away, Cassie.
Good afternoon, lads. Can I just start by asking how you all are?
Well, Mark Wilson's on day 3 of a 4-day Christmas party bender, so he better not answer.
Good.
Please drink responsibly. Yes. You're fine though.
I've not had a drink since August.
Okay.
I had a grandchild at 6 o'clock this morning saying, "Papa, can I get the portal?" How am I supposed to deal with this, Cass? 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 a.m. That's usual for me, Hugh. I'm up way earlier than that for the breakfast show.
That is true, but listen, enough about that wee show that you do during the week. This is the main event of your week. Don't forget that. So don't pass this opportunity up. Tell us what the auction is looking like so far.
Okay, all roads lead to Hampden, donated by John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes. Thank you very much. We are currently sitting at £1,250, kindly donated by Alan Jess. And our lot number 2, these are the all-day prizes, so these are going to be running all day. Aston Villa package with meet and greet with John McGinn, donated by the man himself, personally has given us this kindly as well. Stuart Shaw from Cowell Building Supplies, and that's sitting at £1,000. So we're looking to come up on those ever so slightly if you can. That'd be wonderful. Every single penny going straight to Cash for Kids, straight to children right here in our area. So the all roads lead to Hampden prize. Just to recap, Superbox hospitality at Hampden for both Scottish finals of the season, League Cup final and Scottish Cup final. And that Aston Villa package with meet and greet with John McGinn is massive. 2 nights accommodation in a 4-star hotel. Don't let it put you off that it's 1 off 5, right? I have had a wee look. It looks absolutely stunning. 2 VIP box tickets to a game of your choice at Villa Park before the end of the season, including food and drinks, pre-match, half-time and full-time. You get a signed match day shirt as well by John and a meet and greet. So basically get to sit with a guy, have a wee chat, all those burning questions you wanted to ask, you can do it there. And you can do it whilst you're a wee bit tanked up as well, if you've had a wee drink.
Sounds great.
Please drink responsibly. Come on, this is a family show. I know it's Christmas time. Thanks to Cassie. Remember, those prizes are running all day. You can bid for them on 0141565 2468. I am eternally grateful, believe me. I don't mean to sound ungrateful to Alan Jess and Stuart Shaw who've put those opening bids in, but I think those are stunning prizes for the football fans out there. Hospitality for both the cup finals this season. Just think what that could mean. Like I say, you could be witnessing history. It could be part of a treble. It could be Michael Beale's first and second whatever pieces of silverware as Rangers manager. It could be genuinely the standout day of your footballing life if you're a Motherwell fan or St Mirren or Ross County or whatever it may be. So get your bids in for that. And talk about that special sort of money can't buy idea. A meet and greet with John McGinn, a signed shirt, the nights in the hotel, and the hospitality to the Aston Villa game of your choice between now and the end of the season. So great opening bids from Alan and Stuart, but I think we can do more. 0141565 2468, running until the end of the show, those prizes. And of course it's all for the children. You don't need me to remind you. And the third one that runs all day, it's the car, a brand new Mercedes-Benz A-Class for the cost of a £5 donation to Cash for Kids plus your standard network rate message. That's the one everyone can get involved in. I'm going to keep repeating it because I don't want people to sort of miss that idea. I've listened to this my whole life, and I know that not everyone can get involved in bidding thousands of pounds because life is tough for a lot of people. But for a fiver to cash for kids, you could be driving away in a brand new Merc. Just think how Christmas might be. You'd be very popular going and dropping off all the presents in that. So make sure you get your texts in before 6 o'clock. Text car to 84901 on that one. How are things settling in at Pittodrie, Hugh Keevins?
Well, Celtic are playing exceptionally well up until they get a look at the goalkeeper's eyes, and the final ball has been very disappointing, but they're doing a fair impersonation of a team who are pretending that a 5-week absence from league football ever happened.
What we can see already, 7 minutes, Gordon Dalziel and Mark Wilson, is extremely clear. Aberdeen are fine. They're okay to let Celtic come into that defensive third of Aberdeen, and then they're going to look to win it and break quickly, because they've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, they're looking to play in the counter-attack. It's opposite. When Aberdeen get the ball at the back, Celtic are trying to make them kick it onto Carter Vickers and Starfelt and then pick up the second balls. Look, you're at home, you're playing against Celtic. I think Celtic look sharp on the ball just now. I know it's early, but they look like they've really picked off from where they left off, with the sharp, the movement, Hatate, the ball retention. I just think they're looking really good, Gordon. The most important thing for this game this afternoon for me is the first goal has got to be so important. Celtic get it. I just don't see Aberdeen, because they would need to come out then, and I think Celtic with the quality. But if Aberdeen get it, especially the way they've set up, I'll be up to Celtic to break them down.
And to be fair to Aberdeen, Mark, we see a lot of teams sitting against Celtic. That's nothing new. But it doesn't look overly negative, because they do look to try and at least mount a proper counter-attack when they get it. You know, often the problem is teams sitting, and then they, even if they do nick it back, there's
nowhere to go.
They can't get out. Aberdeen look like they've worked on this, and it looks like to try and use the pace of Duke and others on the break, because Hugh's talking about Celtic not being able to find a path. That's tough. You can't always thread these immaculate. I mean, Matt O'Reilly's tried one there and it goes out of play, but that happens.
Well, when you start with two up top, you always give yourself a chance of getting up the pitch. It was interesting that first breakaway that Celtic were a wee bit open, and I think it might have been Starfelt that slowed things down and just allowed his teammates to get back. But I've enjoyed this. Only 8 minutes in, but the tempo of the game's good. Daz is right. Celtic, the way they're knocking the ball about, we've missed that for 5 weeks, how comfortable these players are in possession. The movements, Ralston's come in the pitch a few times and it's opened things up for Maeda. It's just that final pass they need to get right.
Yep, ball headed back to Kellerus in the Aberdeen goal. Got a decent shot stopping record this season as the new Aberdeen goalkeeper. He's just taking his time. He's getting his players up the pitch again. You always learn early on. Will Aberdeen look to play short? The answer is no, because he just launches a high kick. And Celtic are. See,
I'm not going to tell Jim Goodwin. I'm not going to stand here and tell him how to play against Celtic.
Sure.
Right? I think that's a wrong tactic. I really do. If you're going to Aberdeen, you're at home, and you're being positive, get your two wide guys on. You've got three at the back. Try and build from there. All you're doing is kicking the ball on to Carter Vickers, who's heading it, and Celtic midfield's picking it up, and they're coming at you with the quality.
Celtic are so good at pressing that you put yourself in danger. But you just take out that press. And we were talking about gambling and ball retention through the back. It is a gamble, I get that, but I think Jim would rather gamble at the halfway line than in his 18-yard box.
Well, I think when you and you can put it on Celtic and better players, but when Celtic come up against the top players, i.e. Real Madrid for instance, this year, they play for the back. They still have the ability to go and try and play out. I'm not saying that you play out every time, but every time Aberdeen's got the ball just now, they've kicked it up the park. They've got to at least try and get out somewhere and keep possession for me.
It's always just a balance, isn't it? Because Celtic are obviously the dominant team and the favourites and the better team. Celtic want Aberdeen to take the ball at the back. They want Maeda to be able to go and press that. So if you're Jim Goodwin, you don't want to give them what they want. It's just cat and mouse, isn't it?
So basically you'll guarantee just giving them possession up the pitch.
This is what I'm saying. It's not none of it's guaranteed either way, but you would surely understand that Jim Goodwin might not fancy the idea of Maeda and Kyogo running at his goalie whilst he's got the ball at his feet.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to trust your three guys at the back. You've got to trust your midfield to be brave to go and take the ball. It's modern day football. If you got a team, if Celtic, for instance, were playing, no matter who they were playing, and just Joe Hart kept kicking out the pitch, I think the Postecoglou would go off his head. Jim Goodwin's come out and stated, on our day we're as good, we fancy ourselves to beat MD at Pittodrie, and they can because they've got good quality players. But you ain't going to beat Celtic just kicking the ball up the park.
We'll find out, won't we? 11 minutes gone, Celtic have flashed one over it would have had to be very special from Matt O'Reilly. It was on the angle, and Celtic, they look in the mood, Mark.
Round about the box, especially, they move it so quickly. Ralston's been involved in a few attacks so far, but again, it's the final pass. Maeda's been inside the box, Ralston's been inside the box in good crossing positions, but just not able to find Kyogo.
I allow them that 12 minutes into the game because there has to be some consequence of being off for 5 weeks, and that final ball just is not coming. It's bad pass after bad pass with the final ball.
Do you think it is? Or is this? I think it's anything to do with the break. I look at every time Celtic get it. For 7 or 8 Aberdeen players, on the edge of the box, you just can't always thread it through the eye of a needle all the time.
Yeah, I know.
12 minutes in.
Yeah, but they've done it umpteen times now.
Well, and 12 minutes gone.
Well, yeah, umpteen times in 12 minutes.
It's the dragged effort from Hatate White.
All I'm saying is that Anthony Ralston's been in positions where the pass just has to be better than he's made it.
The only thing, Hugh, is I'll defend Aberdeen here for this, because when Celtic have got the ball, they're dropping off. There's not a lot of space. It's got to be a terrific ball, right? And Celtic will probe and probe and probe, and they've got Hatate, they've got McGregor, they've got O'Reilly. A Jota comes in, they'll eventually find that pass, but just now for 13 minutes it's been a disciplined at the back performance.
Right, now we're ticking along nicely. We're getting some more bids coming in on our all day prizes. Remember, the 2 that you have to phone up to bid for is the All Roads lead to Hampden. It's hospitality for 2 at both the League Cup final and the Scottish Cup final. It's a sensational prize, that. Thank you to John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes for donating. Now, Willie Thompson, I think from Thompson Dairies, I think he's in charge at the moment with a £2,000 bid, so thank you to Willie. So £1,000 ahead for the 2 cup finals for the hospitality. I still think Willie's getting himself a good old deal there. We like the generosity from Willie. And as it stands, Andrew McCulloch from Andrew McCulloch Joinery, he fancies a bit of that John McGinn prize. And why wouldn't you? Meet and greet, signed shirt, Aston Villa game of your choice, hospitality, couple of nights in your hotel down there. Unbelievable prize.
That's a good trip. Me and you.
Well, you bid, I'll go. That's the way we work here. You bid, I'll go.
Well, Mark, if you give us £2,655, you will be in front, because it's £2,650 at the moment from Andrew McCulloch Joinery. So 01415652468. Those 2 prizes run until the end of the show, along with the brand new Mercedes-Benz A-Class. And all you need to do is text in for that one. That's your texting car to 84901. The all-day prizes, we've got sort of smaller, if you like, prizes that we'll do later on, but they are all brilliant. Celtic's cross there is poor. Someone had a good effort though whilst I was reading the prizes.
Wonderful save from Kel Roos. Jota with a trendy new moustache, I noticed. Good save. I
think he saw the picture I tweeted of you from 1988.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got Keevins.
Hugh Keevins is Jota's style icon. Things you never thought you would hear.
I loved it.
Loved it. More than coincidence, you know.
You do look very similar. Yeah, to Jota in that picture.
I see that. Yep.
Pair of specs on Jota, and that's Hugh Keevins.
Absolutely. What a week it's been for the lookalikes when you think about it. I'll revisit yours a bit later on in the show.
Please don't.
That picture of you was great. Because you know what we figured out, Hugh? You're the same age in that picture as Mark Wilson is now.
I know.
Wow.
That's remarkable, because you looked about 50, isn't that?
Sophisticated is what he means.
Well,
a man called in.
What year was that?
88.
Yeah, everybody in the 80s has that look about them in pictures. They just look older and less healthier.
Don't talk nonsense.
Less healthy.
Great, man. You go and look at my photos at 18.
You look healthier now than you did in that picture.
I saw a picture of you at 16 the other day. You looked about 40.
You look at my wedding photos. You look at the first one when I was 18, the second one when I was 20.
It was a belter though. I loved it.
Well, a man phoned in from Orange County, California last night to talk about the moustache. So I may have to bring it back.
He was whinging because it was 12 degrees, the guy, wasn't he? As we stood here in -4 or whatever it was.
If Jota's got one, I may as well have one.
It was started to heat up a bit, I think, and that's why everything's melting, and that's why burst pipes are happening, and that's why it's so icy and everyone's slipping over, and that's why there are games called off. Or at least that was my attempt at being a weatherman. I saw Motherwell's chief exec Alan Burrows tweeting videos this morning of Fir Park because the gym is underwater There's showers pouring from places that there shouldn't be, and they've obviously had to postpone that game today. So if you somehow didn't hear, because that was yesterday, so everyone should know, but do not go to Fir Park. Motherwell St Mirren is off, and Livingston Dundee United was called off this morning as well. A 10:30 pitch inspection. Marvin Bartley, of course, Livy assistant, was in here last night. He said it was 50-50. He had a look in his face which told me it wasn't 50-50.
They know.
And that game was called off this morning as well. Interestingly enough, if you're into this sort of thing, Livy is off, Airdrie is off, Hamilton is off, and a few others. And what links them? They've all got the artificial surfaces, so even those pitches are not immune once it gets a certain temperature and once the water that sits on top of them freezes. So unfortunately that's where we're at today.
There, Duke just showing up clean pair of heels to Ralston. This is where the danger is. This is what Jim Goodwin will be looking for.
This is exactly what we said. And he's gone down and he's got a free kick in a perfect shooting position. Duke, it was a great run. He is rapid when he gets going, the Aberdeen winger, and he's twisting and turning, and
wow, that's a dive.
Do you know something? He's got a terrible reputation, this guy, for that.
Yeah.
I watched him at Livingston as well.
Why he went down. It did look easy. We looked at each other and went, why has he went down so easy? Because I thought he was actually in a good position to come in and get a shot.
Just in the anticipation for any drama, remember, if this goes in, VAR will not rule it out, because the attacking phase of play begins when the free kick is taken, not when the free kick is awarded. That's a standard procedure for VAR. So if this goes in, I mean,
the referee has a good vantage point.
He's standing right next to you.
Yeah, and he's looking at that. Now there is no physical contact whatsoever.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There might be about a touch on Carter Vickers' shin, but there's a bit of a delayed reaction. If there is,
he moves forward and then throws himself down.
And by the way, Leighton Clarkson, on loan from Liverpool, has got a sweet set piece delivery. He's scored some stunning goals since he's come to Aberdeen.
Well, I'd be very angry if I was Celtic manager. Risk is in the top.
Over the bar, don't worry about that.
Stephen McLean is one of the poorest referees in the country. And
that's what you really think.
Yeah.
And, well,
apart from that, he's okay.
I stand by that, because I've just witnessed another shocking decision made by him. There is no physical contact whatsoever. As Gordon Dale said, he's standing right beside it. Now, no wonder Celtic supporters get paranoid about this stuff. As I say, there is no global conspiracy. Any team that's got a quadruple treble can't have a conspiracy going against them. But these decisions are laughable.
I don't know if it's maybe just Carter Vickers is a quieter type. He didn't actually look that angry, which surprised me, but there we are. Anyway, look, it was a free kick outside the box and they didn't score from it. We've got enough genuine drama on our hands without manufacturing any more, so let's wait and see as Celtic do come forward and try and find that opener. We can only go on the first 20 minutes mark. It's a small sample. If we were being particularly microscopic, then had Celtic dropped out of it for a couple of minutes there, and in terms of compared to the way they started the game?
Yeah, probably. But I think that's down to Aberdeen. Actually, they started stringing a few passes together at the back, like Daz had said, and they actually got, to Celtic's back line. And Duke, when you've got a player like Duke in the pace, you've always got a chance of breaking away.
Chance Celtic. It's a brilliant save from Kelleroos in the Aberdeen goal. What a save that is. Got down very quickly. A really strong hand. Brilliant reaction. And it keeps the scoreline level, because Reo Hatate thought he had found the bottom corner through a ruck of bodies.
Do you know what's great about this save? It comes through, as you say, Gordon, comes through bodies. He sees it late.
Look at, it's Jack McKenzie. Roos doesn't see that until it's about 2 yards in front of him.
Brilliant. That is a top class save. Hatate must think, I've opened the scoring here. This is going in. This is
that's a great save.
This
he actually does well with his
ball.
feet as well. So when he stops it with his hand, it kind of rebounds out, but he manages just to scoop it away with his foot, because I think it's Maeda that's in about the area as well. Terrific save. Best opportunity of the game so far.
Do you know, if you're Aberdeen or anyone else coming up against a Celtic or the likes, you probably are going to need your keeper to have one or two moments like that.
Without doubt. And he's had two moments. He's had the save from Jota, which was excellent, and now from Reo Hatate. Celtic continuing to utterly dominate the match. 21 minutes in. As I say, they are playing like a team who haven't had a 5-week break, but they're still looking for the killer touch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Postecoglou will be looking at this and think, yeah, I'm happy with the way it's went about. Yes, you can pick holes in it by saying that final pass in the final third, but look at how many red jerseys are back there. It's very hard to find space.
Aberdeen have 5 across the box, then is it 3 in front of that? So pretty tough, Mark, to guarantee that you find a hole there.
Well, Aberdeen are quite clearly allowing Celtic to play in the wide areas and flooding the box. You just seen it there with Coulson just backed off Maeda and wanted to defend his box rather than going out and engaging with him. And what that does, obviously, it restricts the gaps. And Celtic find it difficult. Once again, they've been in the final third plenty of times, but it's finding that pass. It's ever so hard at the minute for Celtic.
That one's zipped in by Jota and Hatate has it, and then back out to Taylor. So they're being as patient. But look at that box, Gordon Dalziel. Aberdeen well drilled. The distances are good, as they say, and that is going to be tough to find a way through.
It's going to be tough, Gordon, but I think as Hatate tries to stand one up to back post there, I think if you're going to play that tactic against Celtic, they'll eventually, with the quality, find their way, right? They'll keep probing and probing. I watched Aberdeen attacking there once again, long ball, 2 guys up top. The midfield, when Celtic got the ball, was 35 yards, 40 yards away from the front 2. So they're basically sitting in and saying to the front 2, go and do as your turn.
Though, but they're not only doing that, they are trying to do the traditional counter-attack, because 3 times Dukes ran up the pitch and then that's where he won the free kick.
But what I'm saying is they're isolating the 2 lads up front, Duke and Majowski, right? I think what they're doing is the minute the ball goes up there, they're dropping off. Have a look at the distance between the front men in midfield Aberdeen. They're just dropping off, and that's why Celtic are finding it hard. But once again, I'll go back to it. You've got Hatate, O'Reilly, Jota, McGregor, guys like that will eventually move you out of position and find that killer pass. But you said, if you're going to get a result against Celtic, your goalkeeper's got to be in good form.
Oh, and that might be why Aberdeen aren't comfortable playing it about at the back. But I think they've got the decision.
Is that went Celtic's?
I think that's where it went.
Yeah, it was a free kick against Hatate, yeah.
No, it's gone Celtic's way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The foul was against Hatate. That's what I'm trying to say.
It looked like Hatate had fouled
Ramadani.
Was it Ramadani on the ball?
No, he won the ball and then he fouled.
And then, yeah.
Well, anyway, Ramadani did dilly-dally for sure. Oh, it's a bit of 6-1 and half a dozen of the other, isn't it?
He's the poorest referee in the country, and now he's been hopeless for both teams. That's a foul for Aberdeen, but he's giving it to Celtic.
Sorry to Stephen McLean's family.
Yeah, and every other referee sitting there going, that's me off a hook.
I'm the second worst.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, this is top class football. This is a championship at stake. Referees have got the big calls right.
They're not big calls. Free kicks 40 yards out.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. The big calls you really hope and pray for, but the little ones like that, and the foul on Duke, or the non-foul on Duke, I mean, can they see nothing?
Let's wait a little bit in case we do get any proper drama in that department later on, which we've not had yet. Celtic have won a corner. Maeda, fresh from the World Cup, never needs much of a rest, that guy, does he?
Yeah. By the way, I've got to say, he had a good World Cup, didn't he? He must be brimming with confidence. But once again, Celtic were trying to probe there. 9 Aberdeen players in the box. 9.
Ball goes all the way back to Joe Hart. Whilst there's a mini lull in this game, 25 minutes gone, let's go back to our auction room if we can. Check in with Cassie up there to see if we've had so many bids coming in on our all-day prizes. Cassie?
Yes, can I address the elephant in the room first, please? I didn't get to the Mercedes-Benz A-Class the last time we were chatting. However, I wanted to talk about the really rough advert that you guys filmed for this, you and Mark Wilson, Gordon. It was like something from Channel 5. I can't work out if it was like something from Channel 5 or Top Gear when they brought in Paddy McGuinness.
Alright, Kate Winslet. What's happening here? When did you become an expert actress?
I know, but guys, you're meant to be selling it. You know what I mean? Come on, we're all part of the same team here.
Do you not think the double wink was good at the end for Marks?
No, terrible.
Put an extra one in, just
slightly creepy.
The more the merrier.
You don't wink at the end of a car advert, do you?
Oh yes, you do.
Do you ever see the professionals doing that? No.
You do when the producer tells you to. I can reveal he was under strict instructions.
Immense pressure I was under to do it. That much pressure, I did it twice, just in case I missed it.
How are the bids looking, Cassie? I've seen a bit of movement.
Yes, there has been movement. All roads lead to Hampden, donated by John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes. We've got Billy Steen, who is currently bidding £2,500 for that, and that's from Steen Electrical and Mechanical Solutions. Thank you very much, Billy. Also, the Aston Villa package with meet and greet with John McGinn, donated by the man himself, Andrew McCulloch, has come in at £2,650. We would obviously like more money, and we're very grateful for those bids, but the whole purpose and the whole reason that we're here today is to raise as much money as we can for Cash for Kids. So we'd love to come up on those bids. And let's just recap the car as well whilst I'm here. So you can win a brand new Mercedes-Benz A-Class donated by Arnold Clark. Just don't go and watch the advert on the Clyde One Instagram of the boys inside it. You can just imagine what it looks like if you've ever been by the showroom and you've had a look and went, actually that car, I would love that, the dream car. This is thanks to Arnold Clark. Got a brand new one to be won. You'll be feeling top of the ranks after winning this brand new car. It is an A200, hope I'm saying that right, AMG line hatchback. It's very popular, it's very distinguished, and all you have to do to win that is text CAR to 84901. The text costs one standard network rate message plus a voluntary £5 donation. 100% of that is coming straight to Cash for Kids. So you can cancel your donation by replying cancel within 60 minutes if you like, but you don't want to do that. You want to maybe donate the £5, and that's you done your bit for the charity, giving over £5.
Brilliant, looking forward to seeing how those ones end up. Remember, if you want to bid for the All Roads Lead to Hampden or the Aston Villa package with a meet and greet with John McGinn, you have to call to bid for them. 0141 565 2468. They do run all day, but you might as well get in and try and get yourself a bit of a lead. I think we've got some really generous bids in already from Billy Steen and Andrew McCulloch, but they're outstanding prizes, and I think we can get more for them. Remember, All Roads Lead to Hampden, hospitality for two for the Scottish Cup final and the League Cup final. It is an unbelievable prize. You'll be treated like football royalty on the day. And then the McGinn one is brilliant, honestly. I'd love to win that myself, I must admit. I don't know if I could outbid Andrew McCulloch, unfortunately, but you're getting a meet and greet with John McGinn, the signed Villa shirt, the Villa game of your choice, hospitality before, during and after. They're even putting you up down there around the time of whatever game you choose. So it's a brilliant prize. And it's sitting at 2,650 at the moment. We can do more. 0141 565 2468. It's for the children, remember. 1 in 2 children right here in this city and surrounding areas living in poverty at the moment, in some parts of it. Outrageous. So let's see if we can make a bit of a difference this afternoon. Celtic are still pressing, and Aberdeen might be in though, and Duke goes down again. Not convinced Stephen McLean this time.
Good cover from Anthony Ralston there. Shaky to give the ball away in the first place by Celtic, but Ralston did well. If Duran Postecoglou were half an hour in now, you're frustrated because the play has been good. The goalkeeper has had 2 terrific saves, but Celtic, with 80% possession in the game, really ought to be in front by this stage.
He's a performance guy though, isn't he, Gordon? He'll probably be pretty pleased with the performance and hope that the final pass that Hugh's talking about comes, and in fact it has on 1 or 2 occasions, but then it's the shot that's obviously not been.
I think he'll be pleased, Gordon. I think obviously with a 5-week break you're thinking, right, how's the team going to start? Are they going to get back to being quick, sharp, moving that ball about? I think they've been excellent. The only thing that's been missing from the performance in the first 30 minutes is a goal, and I do think if the game keeps up to this pattern, I think that goal will come, because I just think Celtic will get too much quality. You look at the other end, Joe Hart hardly had a touch of the ball.
I'd like to see them have a go for outside the box. I think, see, when you've got O'Reilly and Hatate and McGregor, Jota, guys who can hit the target from 20-25 yards out, I think if you start having a go, it will entice Aberdeen players to come out and close you down, and that's where the gaps will appear, and you can slip one into Kyogo or Maeda.
Carter Vickers has been penalised for a foul in the Aberdeen box when Celtic had that free kick. Now, he was having his shirt pulled as well, and that's one of them that, nowadays when you see the shirt being pulled, sometimes anything's possible. But I suppose, Gordon, I don't know, maybe they didn't think that it did enough to put Carter Vickers off or something along those lines. I remember that that reason being used. Was it when Ricky Lamia in one of the games earlier this season? They try and say that not every shot pull's a foul, but then it doesn't look great.
Yeah, we all complain about it, especially at set plays, corners and that. But Steve McLean felt that Carter Vickers should be penalised with a free kick, Gordon, and it gives Aberdeen a chance to try and get up the pitch. And They're just, for me, Aberdeen are just looking for that forward ball too quick. Everything, the minute they get it, it's bang, forward. Majowski and Duke, they're running about. Okay, Duke's more throwing himself on the ground. But once again, I look at the screen there with the two centre forwards and the midfield and the defence. It's like they've worked in this in training for 4 or 5 weeks.
Celtic have had 10 shots at goal already, but not found the target too often, and certainly not found the back of the net. If you're Jim Goodwin, you might be delighted with this, because it is kind of what you had in mind. Yes, you're probably giving Celtic a few too many looks, but it's goalless after 32 minutes, and only that one real good, or two good saves, you would say, from Kellerus.
Well, Jim Goodwin's in the business of accumulating points for Aberdeen, and if he gets one or all three today, then he's delighted. But he would take one right now. His goalkeeper's done very well for him. The shape has been good, and Celtic, you feel, are cranking up, and the opening goal's got to come, but 32 minutes in, still waiting.
Will Jim have the game plan of, right, okay, and Jim's come out and stated that he feels that Celtic are the best team in the country. Would his game plan be, right, okay, let's just keeping the game up to half time, let's go for the first 15 minutes, after that then start to try and get on the forward foot, because they've really offered nothing. They've been very negative in my point of view, but it might be that game plan to keep yourself in the game as long as they possibly can, and then nick something, because you cannot, and I don't care if you're playing Celtic or not, you're Aberdeen fans expect a lot more from their team, especially at home, to go and at least try and win the game. You cannot come out there for 90 minutes and think, we'll just put everybody behind the ball, try and hit the counter attack, 0-0 or whatever it may be, we're happy with that. I think Jim must have a game plan set up, especially the way they're defending.
They're not putting everybody behind the ball, they're actually keeping two up. The guys, I think he's back five in the midfield in front of it, doing a great job.
Well, they're defending with 9. Right, that's what they're defending with. They're defending with 9 players, Mark. The 2 are getting isolated up the pitch to see if they can hit in the counter attack.
One of them 9's a goalie.
Exactly, so he's an Aberdeen player as a goalie. What's a goalkeeper supposed to do?
You want him to be up.
But hold on, seeing the ball comes in the box, he's a defender then, isn't he? He can come out and take it with his hands, he can kick it. He's still a part of Aberdeen.
Get him up the pitch then. Get him involved in the set pieces.
You're painting a picture though, Aberdeen are getting everybody behind the ball.
There's Callum McGregor shooting from outside the box, and that is always where it's tough, Mark, because and I can see people on Twitter, and it's understandable, so why not take some more shots from outside the box. The reality is, factually, they are low percentage shots. I know everyone thinks, and they are. Yes, Callum McGregor's capable of finding the top corner, so is Matt O'Reilly. The stats just tell you that shooting from there, it is low percentage.
Of course, but like I said there, if you try it a couple of times, it may just
draw
Aberdeen out, and you're playing behind them. We just seen Ralston moments ago try to draw out Coulson. They almost slipped one inside him, it was just overhit. That's what Celtic are looking for, but it's all too congested at the minute. They need to draw them out somehow.
Where you would say Aberdeen are positive, you look at the front three Celtic.
That's very well played from Aberdeen.
What a touch that was.
Very well. What a pass from Kellerus to McCrory, who takes a great touch, but the pass isn't as good to Majowski, and it allows Starfelt to just go back to Joe Hart, and he goes long, which you don't see very often.
Well, no, he's a danger if the ball's at his feet for too long, so the sooner he gets rid of it, the better.
Where I'll compliment Aberdeen here in this, the way they're playing, is Celtic's front three, apart from Jota, when he came in on the right foot, had a shot. Maeda's not really had much space to run in. Kyogo's been very quiet. So Jim will be delighted with that aspect of the game, no doubt.
It does look disciplined, Mark, because sometimes when you see teams sit in, you think they're just hoping for the best. I know Aberdeen are sitting in to an extent, but it looks proper drilled, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It looks like they're putting a bit of thought into it.
I just think Coulson there at that left hand side, you can quite clearly see he's allowing that ball to go to Maeda, but still staying compact and in touch with McKenzie, who's inside him. They don't leave any gaps, so even if Maeda does skip by him, McKenzie's right there, the next one in. So they have worked in it. They've had a lot of time to work in it.
Celtic win a corner, but Kellerus comes and gets it. Neither team's particularly big, but I think Celtic, Mark, when you look through that Celtic team, apart from the two centre backs, the rest are particularly small. Matt O'Reilly's fine, he's okay, but did he not take the corner?
Yeah.
Anthony Ralston's good in there, but
even Carter Vickers, one of your bigger ones, isn't particularly tall. You know, he's certainly got plenty of strength. Starfelt, okay, but the rest, small side, and they continually just keep trying to put the corners in. I thought they might try to take one or two short and try and move Aberdeen that way, but now they're putting everything on top of the goalkeeper, but nothing happening as of yet.
This is like an attack v defence training drill. Celtic trying to break it down, and that's kind of what they need. You need Jota to go and eliminate somebody or go past him, and he's not really done it. He's sort of checked back a few times and found a pass.
If I was Ange Postecoglou, I think I would be telling Cal, McGregor and O'Reilly, get the ball to Jota more than Maeda, because he's up against Matty Kennedy, who, listen, he's not a defender.
He's also a better dribbler than Maeda is, in terms of trickery.
But he seems a bit starved.
And Celtic into the box. It's a good block though. Anthony Stewart. Here comes Greg Taylor, and that's blocked as well. It's hard to shoot through 8 bodies sometimes, Hugh Keevins.
I mean, the fans will complain parking the bus
in the box again, Celtic, but it looks like Aberdeen might have snuffed it out for now.
But the thing is, Hugh, I don't see this as parking the bus. There is good defending. You are allowed to make it difficult for teams to play through.
No, I was not going to be critical of Aberdeen there, and perfectly entitled to approach the game however they wish. But it's working. That red wall is working. Celtic just keep hammering the ball off the red wall.
Let's see if we can do more on these two prizes, by the way. I know they've got all day to run, but let's make some headway early on. All roads lead to Hampden. It's VIP hospitality for 2 for both cup finals. That's a ridiculous prize. It's sitting at 2,500 at the moment, and thank you. Hold on, we've got a short edge of the box. Takes about 4 deflections, pinball, and through to Kellerus. Billy Steen, thank you. Steen Electrical and Mechanical Solutions. That one's 2,500 at the moment. I do think for the children, and when you consider that that's 2 cup finals for 2 people with the hospitality, I think we can push that bid up. So let's do it. And the Aston Villa one as well. This is like for maybe a young football fan in your life, or an older football fan for that matter. Especially if you're a big Scotland fan, or a big Hibs fan, or a big John McGinn fan. This is like once in a lifetime stuff. A meet and greet, a signed shirt, hospitality tickets to a Villa game of your choice, put up overnight.
I think I should get that one, really. I mean, mentioned John McGinn quite a lot.
You can for 2,700 or more pounds. Thank you to Andrew McCulloch for see his face.
He's a wee bit whiter.
Thanks to Andrew McCulloch at the moment. But let's see if we can get those up. 01415652468 running all day.
Nice move, Aberdeen now.
By the way, you can see more info if you're not listening to me, and some people don't. They might switch off. Go to @Clyde SSB on Twitter. You can see the details written down for you. And as always, thanks to Central Car Auctions, who are sponsoring the Cash for Kids sports auction this afternoon. Aberdeen get up the pitch, but next to nothing comes of it, and Celtic go back up the other end.
Well, this is where I think they've got to be quicker, Celtic there. So Greg Taylor travelling with the ball, just get it out to Jota and allow him to go at Kennedy, because he breezed by him moments ago.
It's funny because Aberdeen looked like they were about to be stretched, Mark, but then I looked at that, it was Taylor and Jota, and there was 3 Aberdeen players there. Even though it looked stretched initially, they're working very hard to get back in.
I was going to say that the work rate that Barron and Clarkson in that midfield area and the 2 wing backs are putting in, Ramadani's just sitting there and controlling it. A huge effort from them to get to this stage, because they are leaving 2 up, so it's not as if Duke or Majovski are dropping in to make it particularly hard.
And there we are. Sometimes you get the percentage up the pitch because Starfelt's header falls straight to Duke, and then Aberdeen can try and build something in the final third. I've not seen any of Matty Kennedy attacking, but here he goes, step overs, and well dealt with in the end by Greg Taylor, and even a wee nutmeg just to round it off, and Celtic have a throw down in that corner where the Celtic fans sit.
Well, it'll be 0-0 at half time, so Ange may have to go back to the drawing board. I think maybe it's a Giacomakis day. You need to come up with something, because this is repetition. The red wall is winning at the moment.
I totally agree. I think the red wall is winning the way the game's planned out, Hugh, but I don't think he'll be looking just now, even if, look, there's still 5 minutes to half time plus added time, but I don't think he'll be too this happy with the way that Celtic went about their business. It's difficult. what's needed today for Celtic, and they're certainly getting tried with it, is patience. They need to be patient. They need to just look for that one lapse of concentration from an Aberdeen player that gets them in.
And the touch has to be better there if you're playing that type of football. It's fired into Kyogo. He tries to touch it first time, but it's a bit heavy. Then Aberdeen draw the foul, and you wouldn't expect them to be in any great hurry to take it, because that's not what you want when you play Celtic, Mark. You want to be slowing it down. Yeah,
and allowing your bigger players to get up, because there's only one place that this will go, and that's up to Miovski or Duke, and they can try and mount an attack for there. But just that pass for Callum McGregor there, that's what you miss when he's at the team. You know, just that zip straight into the striker's feet. And Kyogo, usually his touch is brilliant, disappoints. But I don't think Ange Postecoglou will be disappointed either. I obviously want to go on ahead, but I think Celtic have moved the ball well. It's just the final pass in the final third that's letting them down a wee bit.
What they need to guard against would be that surprise bloody nose, because right at the end of the half there's a throw into Aberdeen, and they're going to go for a direct approach. Ross McCrory's in there, Anthony Stewart's in there, Hayden Coulson is drying the ball at length.
This is going right in the mixer, as they say.
On it, and it's you can see again that's one that's been worked on. Anthony Stewart goes front post and tries to get the flick, just about misses it, but he stays up. And I'll tell you what.
Searching for it.
Keeper struggled.
Yeah, it comes and misses. It was actually a bad cross that turned into a good one, if that can make any sense, because it was very high, and it meant it caused a bit of indecision for Joe Hart.
I think when you see goalkeepers searching and running it,
they
always make a mess of things like that.
I could hear him from here shouting, "Keepers away."
Keepers away. I knew you were going to say that there.
He loves that shout.
I love it. I think goalkeepers all around the country do that. You know, they come out there thinking, I'm going to get this, and then they think, oh no, that's a bad. Keepers away.
I think that was an 80s shout. I don't know if they say that anymore. I've never heard that.
Keepers away. When they're struggling and they can't get there. Yeah.
That was a perfect example.
That was good pace, that, from Starfelt. I thought Miovski was maybe favourite to go and get it, but it was very impressive from Starfelt just to put on the afterburners and nick it away, go back to Joe Hart and start again.
I think one thing Jim Goodwin will be disappointed with is when they get in the final third and have a go at Celtic. Matty Kennedy a couple of times, Coulson on the other side, poor balls into the box, just like that from Ralston, but Jota's kept it alive.
I don't know why Anthony Ralston took the pitching wedge out there, Gordon. It was just that he just needed punched into the box.
I think you're doing him a disservice. I thought it was a 64 lob wedge. Do you know something? He's not got a lot to hit, so he stands one right up at the back post. Jota obviously was thinking it was going to get in middle. He's made his run, but they still it was still a cross into the boxes.
Wow.
Don't know what he was doing there, right enough.
I've had a few of them in my time.
I think he had the driver out with that one.
Celtic have got themselves in a bit of a mess here. Maeda's coming back to try and clean up, but Duke still has it. Down he goes again. Doesn't win any free kick this time.
I mean,
I've never seen
he falls the same way. Doesn't matter what contact there is, if it's a shirt pull, if it's a kick in his shin, he seems just to fall all the time face first and looks at the ref every time. He needs to get that out of his game.
Yeah, I remember watching him at Livingston, and he went down at the warm-up. I've never he needs to, you're right, because he has got good ability, Mark, and he's a threat, and he's got good pace, as he showed when he went showed Ralston a clean pair of heels, but he's got to get that bit out of his game. Half
time already, no additional time whatsoever, Andrew McLean.
No, none at all. And the half-time score is Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0. Aberdeen standing firm so far against the Celtic side, who have been lively but not quite efficient in this game so far. The first effort came from Jota, cutting in on his right. He got the shot away, but it was beaten away by the diving Kella Roos. Aberdeen's first effort came from a Leighton Clarkson free kick. It was good work by Duke in the build-up to get up the park. He did go down very easily to win the free kick, and that one went over the bar from Clarkson. Roos then had to make a wonderful save to deny Rio Hatate's shot on the turn. He saw it late, he got down, he then swung his foot round as well as the ball was rolling back into the 6-yard box and cleared the danger too. But Aberdeen just not allowing Celtic space in their box, so Celtic finding it hard to get that final pass away or get the shot away at times hasn't been the easiest for them, despite having almost all of the ball in this half so far. Ange Postecoglou's side continued to push, couldn't find that goal. Aberdeen have threatened a couple of times on on the break to try and create something on the counter, but they haven't managed it properly so far. So the half-time score here at Pittodrie is Aberdeen 0, Celtic 0.
Would you sum that one up, Mark Wilson?
Bit frustrating from a Celtic point of view in the final third, but I think they've moved the ball about quite well, got themselves into decent areas, but just can't find that final pass to get the breakthrough. If you're Aberdeen, I guess Jim Goodwin would be happy. Disappointed with his own team in the final third. Game's in the balance, but Celtic really need to find a breakthrough. And I might go back to Hugh's point, it might be a day for Giakoumakis to come on and just mix things up a bit in this second half.
If you do the same thing over and over again and expect something to change, then that's not what happens. Ange Postecoglou may have to go back to the drawing board, think about Giakoumakis. Kyogo, by his own very high standards, is having quiet afternoon, and you just get the impression that this will go on and on and on and on and on, and it will either finish goalless, or your fear is Aberdeen get a break at the other end.
There is, of course, an alternative, Gordon, where Ange Postecoglou says, okay, but Aberdeen won't block every shot, and Kellerus won't save every shot, because although it hasn't worked for 45, we've got another 45 to do it.
100%. I don't think they'll be making changes just now, Gordon. I think Postecoglou will be a bit frustrated, but he'll be delighted with the way Celtic have nipped the ball about. It's difficult. You've got 8 players plus a goalkeeper there. They're making it very hard for you, very tight spaces. But they've not troubled Aberdeen. Have not troubled Joe Hart at all. He's come out from one ball there, looked a bit uncovered, but apart from that, nothing. But you look at Jim Goodwin, he'll be a happy manager.
Delighted, I'm sure.
Yeah, game plan, right? Okay, we'll get in 0-0 half time. We're looking very disciplined. We're looking organised. We're looking, hopefully, if we can get a bit of quality of threat, we've got 2 guys up front. So his first part of his game plan's okay, but I think that Aberdeen, where they've done a good job, and you're talking about Kyogo thrives with Maeda on space, grass in behind, running across the defenders in on the shoulder. Aberdeen have not given them that. There's no space to go. But Aberdeen, for me, haven't got the quality to do this for 90 plus minutes, and I think Celtic will eventually open them up.
It's not been a blockbuster game, Mark. There's been a couple of niggly free kicks that we've disagreed with. There's not been any major talking points, no major controversy. There's been one very good Kellerus save, brilliant save in fact, from Hatate, because he sees it so late. Another probably decent save, but one you would expect to make from Jota. So other than that, it's been quite quiet.
And it has been. It's not, I said the second half will be the same, and we hope it kind of livens up in that respect. I suppose, the opening stages of the game, I thought the tempo was good from both teams. You could quite clearly see the game plan, obviously, from Celtic in terms of possession, but you could see Aberdeen's game plan to defend with the 8 and then leave 2 up. And any time they get the ball, it's to try and turn Starfelt or try and turn Carter Vickers and give their front 2 a chance. And, that's really what's happened. It's a fine balance. Celtic clearly on top, but we could do with something, a goal to liven it up.
Right, well, it's half time at Pittodrie. Just in case anyone was waiting for that half time whistle to place their bids, let's quickly check in with Cassie in the auction room to see if we've had any movement on the All Roads Lead to Hampden prize or the Aston Villa package with a meet and greet with John McGinn. Cassie?
Yeah, just having a little look just now. So we're having a look at the because we've got loads and loads of prizes coming up, but at the moment the All Roads Lead to Hampden. This was our all day lots. We've still got Billy Steen in from Steen Electrical and Mechanical Solutions at £2,500. So this All Roads Lead to Hampden prize has been donated by John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes. Superbox Hospitality at Hampden for both Scottish finals of the season and League Cup final and Scottish Cup final. It's for 2 people. You can enjoy the ultimate football hospitality in the Superbox, providing a unique culinary and guest experience. How very frightfully posh. Whilst enjoying the match with panoramic views of the pitch, of course, and from a private balcony as well. So what a prize that is. So we're sitting at £2,500. Of course, we'd like to come up on that. And we've also got the Aston Villa package with meet and greet with John McGinn, and it's been donated by John himself, and that is currently sitting at £3,000, and that is from George Boyd. So we'd like to come. Oh, the phones are going, ladies. Sorry. This is a very, very busy. It feels like a busy call centre in here with all the girls sitting here taking the calls. This is good.
I can imagine. Hopefully that's some more bids going to go up then. George Boyd, thank you. We're up at $3,000 for the Aston Villa one. It's brilliant. I mean, honestly, the meet and greet with John McGinn's worth a fair bit on its own, because that's a sort of money can't buy element. You're getting your signed shirt, Aston Villa game of your choice, hospitality for two, you're getting accommodation. Brilliant price, sitting at £3,000. Let's see if we can squeeze some more out of that, and definitely more for all roads lead to Hampden. I'm not for a second suggesting that Billy Steen won't win it in the end. Maybe he will, but £2,500 as things stand, very generous, and I still think it can go more. Remember, it's VIP hospitality for two cup finals this season. It's a brilliant price. So 01415652468. These close at the end of the show, so get your bids in whilst we take a breather, and we'll update you and get the second half from Pittodrie next.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Still half time at Pittodrie. Let's speak to Andrew McLean. I don't suppose there's any of those early indications you sometimes get, Andrew, that either side is considering a change?
Well, potentially, because the first Celtic substitute that came out and was doing a bit of an individual warm-up was Leila Bada, and he has now disappeared since, so he's maybe gone up the tunnel to get some extra instructions to come back out. Maybe it's a case that they're just earmarking him to be the first substitute of the second half, and it might not happen right away, but he's certainly not out there anymore after going out and doing an individual warm-up. So you look at the options that who could potentially come off for him. You think Dalziel and Maida would maybe be the one, because Leila Bada is maybe more likely to be able to drop a shoulder, just create that extra bit of space, and we know what he's like. He can get goals, he gets assists as well, his numbers are good, Abada, so there's a good chance that if Celtic are going to make a change at the break, that it will be Leila Bada.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'd said numerous occasions that Coulson on one side was just backing off and allowing Maeda to run at him. Well, slightly different proposition with Abada. He's got that, like Andrew was saying there, that little bit of creativity, a little spark. He's got this knack of being in the right place at the right time when Jota gets to the byline on the other side as well. And when you need a goal, he's a good man to turn to. So positive change in my view from Ange Postecoglou.
Right, here's what I need to do. I need to give you another update from the Cash for Kids Sports Auction, because we're about to launch some more prizes. Now, these are only going to run until 2 o'clock. Right, that is 30 minutes time. These only run until 2 o'clock, 30 minutes time, so you have to be quick. Do not miss out on these, because they're absolutely brilliant as well, I must say. The first one, listen to this: hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, donated by Monarch Transport, for 4 people. Man United against Nottingham Forest, and it's on the 27th of December. Imagine that, right? Everyone's off over the festive period, hopefully. You've had a good old time of it. Christmas Day, Boxing Day. You and 3 other people, 3-course meal, drinks before the game, during half time, and after the game. Hospitality at Old Trafford. That is a stunning prize. Thank you to Monarch Transport for donating it. You've only got half an hour to bid, so quickly. 01415652468. 01415652468. Hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford. Now, the second prize that we're running from now until 2 o'clock, Hugh, a lot of debate going on at the moment. And tomorrow, who's the best ever? How's this?
Yeah.
A signed and framed Pele top.
Well, for me, 1958, Brazil, Pele, 17-year-old, winning the World Cup, window opens, top floor flat, mother shouts, "Come up here and see this." And I come up and watch Pele playing, and I'll never ever forget it. So for people of my generation, he is the greatest.
Any generation, that is an unbelievable collector's item. And if you're that way inclined and you see it as more of an investment opportunity, that's going to be worth an awful lot of money in the next few years. An awful lot of money. A signed and framed Pele top. Thanks again to John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes. So again, that's one that you've only got half an hour to bid on. 01415652468. Please don't miss it. The third one, 4 hospitality tickets to a Glasgow Clan ice hockey game of your choice. That's a great night out, that, Gordon.
Absolutely
really
brilliant.
good, that. And it's 4 hospitality tickets. You get a wee buffet feed before face off. You get free drink up until the start of... Free drink, did that say? Free drink up until the start of the game. So again, that was John Strange, this time of Asprey, Glasgow West. Same number, 01415652468. And the last one, this could be one of the up-and-coming teams that you've got to watch out for. We've been doing at Queen's Park a family hospitality package donated by Queen's Park FC, a family of 4, hospitality and a mascot experience as well. How good a prize would that be for your youngster this Christmas? The full family goes to the hospitality at Queen's Park, and one of the youngsters gets to be the mascot as well. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Or dad could just be the mascot and just turn
that'd be good.
Turn it really weird. But 0141 565 2468. Now let me stress, this is so important because you've now only got 28 minutes. You've only got till 2 o'clock on these. Hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford. A signed and framed Pele top, arguably the greatest ever, going to be worth a fortune in the next few years. You've got your hospitality for 4 at the Glasgow Clan Ice Hockey with your feed and all the rest of it and the free drink, and then your family hospitality package at Queen's Park. Those 4 prizes are only available till 2 o'clock. Do not miss out. 0141 565 2468 with the small matter of being underway at Pittodrie, and there was a change at the break as Andrew McLean predicted. Mark Wilson.
Yep, and it's a positive one, like I said. You see Abada on the ball right away, driving at the Aberdeen back line. Celtic in the Aberdeen box, only 50 seconds into this second half. So the tempo's high, straight from the off, and they'll be looking for a goal quick into this second half.
It looks like the same pattern. Try to get down the flanks, try to move the ball quick. Aberdeen just dropping off, try to frustrate Celtic. I agree with the lads. I think it was a good substitution. Maeda didn't find the space in behind, didn't find the ball enough to use the pace that he's got. Abada as a live wire, he can go and drop the shoulder, get by a defender, he can come inside. He's got a knack of getting on the end of things from opposite balls in from the other wing. So very positive from Celtic, but I just think this game needs a goal this afternoon.
Hugh, it's one of those that's fairly obvious to see the logic. Ange Postecoglou clearly loves Dalziel and Maeda, no doubt about it. But he also acknowledges that Lil Abada is a goal scorer. His numbers, as Mark Wilson says, are good, and he doesn't hang about often. He's quite keen to make these changes at the break sometimes.
You can see the way the game's been going. The red wall was defying Celtic, so you have to try something new, and Abada is that definition of trying something new. I still think Giacomakis will be needed eventually, because it's the pattern as before, even with Lil Abada on the park. The red wall is holding firm.
It's hacked away by Anthony Stewart.
I think Celtic just hoping that someone switches off in that Aberdeen box, and you've got to be fair to Aberdeen. Every one of their players bang on it. They know their shape. They've got your 5 with 3 just in front, and they're just shifting from side to side. So all it takes is one person now not to match a runner, and the whole thing comes undone.
Yeah, you get that little special moment, Gordon, where a drop of the shoulder sends someone the wrong way, or you do shoot through the ruck of bodies and it goes through somebody's legs. Like, these things can happen. There is just no guarantee that you can keep this up forever.
Yeah, but
you might.
Exactly, that's a hard thing. You just wonder if Jim has got that game plan of thinking, right, okay, worked well in the first half, we'll go for another 20-25 minutes, then we'll try to get ourselves further up the pitch and snatch something that gets us a great 3 points. Or is he just going to see out the game like this, get everybody apart from the front 2 behind the ball? But even with the front 2 there, they're isolated because the defenders are dropping so deep because they don't want any space in behind with Celtic's pace. The midfielders are dropping so deep, and the space between the midfielders' defence and front line of Aberdeen is absolutely huge.
Yeah, Callum McGregor, remember, back in the Celtic team this afternoon following that injury, following the World Cup break. He's bringing the ball out, and Celtic are allowed to walk across the halfway line. It's after that Aberdeen engage. In fact, it's significantly after that. It's generally round about the sort of 25-yard mark. And
you rarely see a game that goes on for as long as this one has done, 50 minutes, and the picture is exactly the same as it was in the first minute.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
And nothing at all is changing, therefore it'll be nothing each.
You could actually go to most full-time teams at one point and you'll see this drill. Attack against defence, and the way Aberdeen have worked on it.
It's the age-old debate, isn't it? Because we have this all the time. Look, we exist in a pretty unique footballing environment. We've got two teams with all the money and all the resource, and the other teams would take a draw, and therefore this is not a good spectacle. But that's not Aberdeen's problem. No. You know, so we've been here before, and here comes Celtic again into the box. It's a good block this time, and it's headed easy into the hands of Kellerus.
And round we go, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, I think McKenzie does well there to initially block the cross. Was it Abada that was running at him, and he does great to get to the touchline. I think, did it fall back to Ralston, who ends up heading it? I thought he could have maybe taken a touch here. Or was it O'Reilly?
Maybe. It was McGregor.
I thought it was Callum McGregor.
It was McGregor. Keep going, you'll get it. Was that a sub? Listen, Hugh's right, it's the same pattern. Aberdeen just very happy, very content. And you're right, Gordon, it's not up to Aberdeen to entertain Celtic fans and entertain us in the tape. They're there to win points, whether it be one or try and sneak three, and it's up to Celtic with the quality they've got to go and break them down. I just think the longer this game goes, I think Celtic will break them down. I've no doubt in that.
Yeah, certainly getting into right areas. Aberdeen defending well yet again. I'll try and find new ways of him wording it, and this is where Aberdeen look to come forward, but there's nothing there. It goes to Miovski. It's a ball at sort of nipple height, if you like. And
what a description.
I don't
I like
know.
that.
And it just
it's a new term.
I've got to use
Fire
that
into my nipple height.
not one that he could hold up.
But yeah,
I was just looking at Gordon sticking through that jumper, and it just reminded me. Right, anyway, look, we're going to have to go back to the auction room, because remember, these 4 stunning prizes that were only running until 2 o'clock. Some of them you've got all day on. That's the big ones, your John McGinn, your Hampden, your Mercedes car. But the following ones is only running until 2 o'clock, so you need to get your bids in on these very, very quickly. Don't miss out. But also, please, let's not run the risk of not raising good money for the charity, because it really deserves it. Cassie, update us if you can.
Okay, I am going to just go back to one of the all-day prizes just quickly, because we've had a bid in for this, so I've come up slightly. All roads lead to Hampden, donated by John Fleming of Easy Peasy Prizes. Stuart Shaw from Cowell Building Supplies has come in at 2,750, so thank you very, very much for that. Now we're going to go on to the prizes we've got for this first kind of half hour. Hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, donated by Monarch Transport. So it's Man U versus Tottenham Forest on the 27th of December. It includes a table for 4 people, 3-course meal, drinks before, during, half time and after the game. And currently we've got a bid of that £500 from Stuart Shaw. He is busy on the phone today, Cowell Building Supply, so he's coming at £500 for that. At lot 2, signed and framed Pelly top, donated by John Fleming again of Easy Peasy Prizes. So it is what it is, you know exactly, you can picture it. I've got a little photograph of it here. It's fantastic. It's got Pelly in the front, it's got the shirt, of course, the number 10 on the back, and that there has been snapped up, maybe, hopefully, unless you want to come in with a little bit more, by Joe Robinson at £500. So there's still time to bid on that. Lot number 3, 4 hospitality tickets to a Glasgow Clan ice hockey game of your choice, donated by John Strange of Asprey, Glasgow West. Includes a buffet style feed, 1.5 hours before face off, and a free drink up. We all love a free drink up until the start of the game. We have no bids for that at the moment, so we would love to get you on the phones just now. The girls are here waiting. They get their headsets on, have a wee chat with you as well, give you a bit of banter, but of course we need the money, because the money is going to go straight to Cash for Kids. That is what this day is all about. Lot number 4, Ultimate Mascot Package at Queen's Park FC, donated by Queen's Park, and it's to be taken January to December 2023, so you get time there for that one. And a week up to the game, you'll be invited to training centre to watch training, have lunch, take on the captain Simon Murray, and a penalty kick-off. And we have currently no bids for that one either, so we would like to see you come in with that. You'll be able to lead the team out on the day 2, table for 4 and hospitality for the family. So think of it as a family day out, but as I say, we do not have a bid for that one yet. We would love to hear you on our phone lines just now.
Right, let's do more, because I'm forever grateful at the people that are getting their bids in nice and early. But let's think about this logically. Firstly, we're trying to raise money for children who need it in Glasgow and the West, so we can always even add on a little bit more. But as an example, hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, Stuart Shaw, that's sitting at £500. £125 a head for hospitality tickets at Old Trafford. Come on, we need to get that one up much higher. 0141565 2468. Similarly, Joe Robinson is a very generous man. He's given us 500 quid for a signed and framed Pelé top, but he's about to get himself the bargain of the century. We're talking arguably the greatest player that's ever lived, and that is going to be worth an absolute fortune, that signed shirt. It must be. So sitting at £500 at the moment, signed and framed Pelé top. I think we can do much more on that. We are now starting to get bids in, which is good for the hospitality tickets to the Glasgow Clan ice hockey. That should be a fantastic night out for the family. I'm keen on this Queen's Park one, donated by Queen's Park, family hospitality package. We've not got any bids yet, so that's brilliant. Why not get along? It's a great football environment, that. You never know, you could be looking at a Premiership team as of next season. It's family of 4 hospitality and a mascot experience. Must be someone in your family that would love that this Christmas. So that one, the Glasgow Clan, the Pelé top, we need to get more on that. And perhaps most of all, 4 people. Think of what hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford is worth. Then add on a bit for charity, and I think we're at much more than the 500 quid we're getting just now. It's for children. Come on, 0141 565 2468. And you've only got 15 minutes left. You've only got until 2 o'clock, so please dig deep and bid generously. I'll tell you who's in a generous mood, Hugh Keevins. Kyogo, because he's missed an absolute sitter, and Celtic should be in front.
The man who used to manage Aberdeen in their greatest days, Alec Ferguson, had a word to describe that finish. It was irresponsible. It was that was the phrase he used to use, and it was an irresponsible finish from Kyogo. It was the one chink in the armour that you were looking to find, and then Celtic got it. The chance was there. It was begging to be put in, and it's a horrible miss from Kyogo.
Paint the picture. It's a brilliant ball from Ralston, a decent enough cross from Abada, and Kyogo just has to score.
Well, Celtic fans would have seen it a million times, the move that Ralston looks like he's going to play it out in the touchline. He reverses it inside Coulson, the fullback, who switches off. Abada does great, I think, to play it across, and Kyogo's 6 yards out, coming across. He lets it come across him. He tries to put it in with his left, and it kind of bobbles up.
Gordon, it sort of bobbles up, so we'll cut him tiny. No, didn't think so. An experienced goal scorer like you just bundle it in the net, don't you?
I think that's a harder to miss chance. I really do. You look, just any part of your side foot, a ball's in the back of the net. That Celtic, they may go and win this game, but they will not get a better chance in this football match than that.
To be fair though, Hugh, if you're talking about the sort of balance of the game, Celtic are now much closer to scoring, if you like, because of that chance, and then Abada follows up with one that was low, saved by Kellerus. They're now finding a way through the wall that they're not able to put it in the back of the net, if that makes any sense.
Gordon Dale has hammered the point that he believes that eventually you keep knocking and eventually the door will open. But at the same time, Aberdeen are coming into it a little bit more. If you're a fatalist, and I suspect that Ange Postecoglou is anything but a fatalist, you'd be feeling uneasy at the moment about an afternoon that has gone on the way this one has. But we're almost an hour there, and I still repeat, this is Giacomakis.
I think Abada's certainly made a difference since he's come on. I think he's created the chance. He's then had a chance of his own. I think you see now Coulson, McKenzie realising that they've got a different threat. So Celtic have to do everything they can to get the ball to him as quickly as possible. It looks their best bet at the minute.
Right, the bids are going up, so you're understanding the fact that these were going for an absolute snip. I still think they need to go more, and you've only got 15 minutes left. Thank you to Stuart Shaw, Cowell Building Supply. So it has gone up. Hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, it's now sitting at 700 quid. That's still less than 200 quid ahead for tickets and hospitality to Old Trafford against Nottingham Forest on the 27th of December. We're very grateful for the bid. It's worth so much more than that, and then you need to consider we're trying to add a bit.
I've had hospitality
for the kids as well.
Fantastic.
You bumped into Colleen Rooney and thought she was an old school pal for some reason.
Unfortunately, she didn't go to the same school, but I've got to say the hospitality.
How did you get hospitality at Old Trafford?
I'm big news. Well, I played with the Blues, didn't I, across the city?
Well, that makes no sense.
Why would they allow you in there?
Oh, it's a nice pass from Abada, and it somehow goes the wrong side of the post from a Celtic perspective, the right side from Aberdeen's. And it's are Aberdeen living a bit of a charmed life now?
I think the goal's coming. I really do. I think Celtic are now starting to create more in behind the Aberdeen backline. I actually think Hatate should do better there. When he gets to the touchline, he just kind of tries to thrash it across. Maybe a wee bit more composure in it. But Abada, once again, certainly the difference.
Vincent Carpets, not daft, realising that this signed and framed Pelly top is worth.
I was going to ask about that. That's.
Look, we're up to £750 there, so thank you very much to Vincent Carpets. It's Pelly. It's signed and framed. These things cost about £200 to get framed nowadays. Then the cost of the jersey, then the Pelly signature tax, then the bit for charity. We can put that price up. Come on down. 01415652468. And the sad thing about life, Hugh Keevins, without getting too profound, these legends don't go on forever, and one day that is going to be worth an awful lot of money, that signed top.
Well, we all know where Pelé is in terms of his health. He is a legendary figure anyway. He will become an immortal figure, immortalised when the inevitable happens. He, for me, was the greatest of all time, but that's because of my age, I suspect. But it is a gift almost beyond price, but you know the price. It's yours to dictate.
Come on then, 01415652468. We're ticking along now. The hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, £12.50. A bit more like it. Still think it's got more mileage. The Pelly top definitely more, sitting at £7.50. And we're starting to get bids in for the hospitality tickets for 4 at the Glasgow Clan Ice Hockey. That's a brilliant day out for the family. You'd be getting your tickets and a feed and free drink for 4. I mean, I don't know if the kids are allowed to drink. Probably not, you would have to imagine. So I still think we can do more. But Thomas Pooh, thank you, £250. And Chris Caldwell is in the lead with £200. Chris Caldwell's in the lead, 200 for the Glasgow Clan, my apologies. And the Queen's Park prize is Thomas Pooh on 250. So again, think we can push them up, but 10 minutes to go, so you now can't hang around. You can't ignore me much longer if you want these prizes. 01415652468. Thank you to Mohammed. We're up at 1550 for the Man United tickets, much more like it. Again, still under £400 ahead for the 4 people. You'll be treated very, very well, I'm sure. A nice post-Christmas treat, 27th of December. The Pelly top, have we just reached 1,000? I think we've just gone 4 figures for the Pelly top. Good, keep it going. 10 minutes to go. 01415652468. We've now reached the hour mark. Does Ange Postecoglou make another change, Gordon?
Well, the boys are crying out for Giakoumakis, especially after Kyogo missed that absolute sitter. But look,
he did it again.
It's just flashed across the face, that one. He couldn't reach that. But
if you're Celtic now, you're getting a bit frustrated.
Yeah. Because
you've chapped at the door, you've had a great opportunity. I tell you, Abada has made such a big difference down that right hand side. He's put in some lovely balls. The one that obviously Kyogo should put in the back of the net, he's had a shot himself. He's just whipped in another terrific ball there. And if I was a winger putting a ball of that quality in, I'd be a bit disappointed someone wasn't trying to go on the end of that.
That's why I think they've tried and tried and tried. Abada has made a nice refreshing change, but it's the same old story. And unless they...
But it's not, because they're now creating chances that they didn't in the first half.
Yeah, but they're now creating chances and not taking them.
No, I get that, but that's not what the same story means, is it? The same story would be not creating chances like they weren't in the first half.
For me, my thoughts now are that Aberdeen might score.
You're a fatalist, aren't you?
He's a new Jim Goodwin.
We shouldn't laugh, because we've done that before, and it's Hugh's spot on sometimes. I think it is time
rare,
for rare.
Here they go.
But I think it's time for Giakoumakis. When you see Abada, getting to the touchline and pulling things back time and again, Giakoumakis thrives off opportunities like that. He's got a knack of bundling things over the line. We've seen it in the past. I think it's about time he replaces Kyogo.
Well, Ange Postecoglou always makes 4 changes anyway, even in games where things are going fine.
He might look at the middle of the park as well, Gordon. Maybe freshen that up.
Aaron Moy for Hatate, maybe something like that.
You've got Turnbull there on the bench that can get you a goal from outside the box. He's got a terrific shot on him. The lad, he's got decent quality from that sort of a range. He likes to mix things up, freshen it up. Haksabanovic is a miss. He's a miss. I think he's been terrific.
See, Mark, this is where you and I will need to disagree slightly. There's Callum McGregor taking another one from outside the box, sliced it miles over. I always think there's an air of desperation. See, unless it opens up like perfectly, sits perfectly, maybe a bit closer to that edge of the box, do you not end up just forcing them sometimes? And not only have you missed, you've given Aberdeen the chance to take their time and get the ball back, and Kellerus then takes his time and boots it up the pitch.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but if you just go side to side time and again, it does get too predictable. I think when you've got the quality player that Celtic have got, there's every chance one of them will go on. We've seen it all through the season. Some of the goals the midfielders for Celtic have scored, so off target that time, but it's not to say you won't hit the target next time. Is that the first booking of the game?
Clarkson.
Yes, the classic. Once you have a heavy touch and then clatter into the player that takes it off you, it's not even the contact's not huge on Carter Vickers, Ralston, sorry, but like we said, when you overrun it, the ref will.
The ref will pull out the yellow card, of course it will. But it's back to the same pattern here as. That would be the most.
That's bad from O'Reilly, isn't it? That's just
the quality's
too easy.
You know what? I would be looking at Turnbull maybe to come on, because him for one, if he's taking something on from outside the box, then he's got a good record from that. He can pick a pass. I'm looking at Hatate and O'Reilly at the minute. I've had a number of misplaced passes in this second half alone that's just off the mark. So I just wonder when Ange Postecoglou's wondering about changing things, or is he happy with the way things are going and he sees something perhaps that we don't?
Well, he's a performance guy, isn't he? He'll be fine with the performance, just won't be happy with that sort of last
end product.
And I don't know, Hugh's right, this isn't going to happen all the time, but if you're Ange Postecoglou, this team has given you more than enough for these days when they find the goal. They always find the goal, it seems.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, they always come up with answers.
But we're 3/4 of the way through the game now, and it's the same old. And he seems reluctant to bring on 2 or 3, but I'd be beginning to think in terms of points dropped now.
He must have a feel for a game. He's standing there. He knows his players. I think most managers would react to a couple of substitutions, and let's be honest, he's got good quality that can change games on the bench. But he's looking at this. Aberdeen have offered nothing, absolutely nothing. But that's Jim Goodwin's game plan. He'd be delighted with a point. Maybe he could sneak something, but they've offered nothing.
But Celtic are now trying from outside the box, and the attempts are getting more and more feeble.
I'll give you that, Gordon. Greg Taylor coming inside on his right foot to have a go is a wee bit ambitious, so they have to pick and choose their times. It's just kind of start firing them in from all angles.
Ralston's going to just cross one. The ball's just poor though. It's going to go to the back post where Greg Taylor can make a nuisance of himself, but ultimately nothing doing there. Right, this is your 5-minute warning on the following prizes. The hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford. Muhammad Ali from Cafe India Burnside, 15.50 there. Thank you very much. We could maybe get a last run though. The signed and framed Pelly top now sitting at 13.50 from someone with the surname McGarrigle. I can't see the first name for some reason, my apologies. 13.50 there. The 4 hospitality to Glasgow Clan Ice Hockey, 325. And I still think you're getting an absolute steal there. Family hospitality at Queen's Park with the mascot experience as well, and that's only sitting at 250 from Thomas Puller. It is 250, a family of 4 and the mascot experience. I think we can do much better. You've only got 4 minutes now. Hospitality Man United, signed and framed Pelly top, hospitality at Glasgow Clan, and hospitality at Queen's Park. Come on, 4 minutes. 01415652468. Do not miss out, and please help us raise what we can for Cash for Kids.
A substitution coming from Aberdeen.
Maybe they'll go for it now.
I don't think so. I think Jim just now is quite happy with the way.
No, he's called Miovski over. He was talking to Miovski, who is clearly on the park, and whatever the instruction was, I don't know, but Jim Goodwin must be getting the thought that Celtic will play all day and not score, and we might just sneak this.
Or he's seen Celtic score late so many times and is fearing the worst and wants to go and attack.
Look, see if you've put this much effort and discipline into your performance, Gordon.
That's nearly chance for
Kyogo. I think that's a difficult one, Mark.
It's a more acrobatic. He is only 6 yards out and he's right in the middle of goal, but it's a bit behind him and he sort of has to leap up and contort his body to try and direct it goalwards. So it's a big chance. Although, is it bigger than we're given credit?
I think that's a good chance. I'm wondering, does he have to be? Is it acrobatic?
Exactly.
I think if he just guides that, it is a bit behind him, I'll give him that, but if he just guides it, the pace is on the ball, side foot on target, it's in the net.
I know a certain number 8 in his heyday would have put that in the back of it. I'm just judging. I'm judging with chances. As Celtic strip off Giakoumakis to come on here. Now, where he will help is obviously Aberdeen letting Celtic go wide, put balls in. He gives him a bit of that height. He'll go and attack that ball. He'll cause problems.
It's not height that Celtic have needed. They need Kyogo to put one away from 3 yards when the goal's gaping.
Well, that's where I do think Giakoumakis is better than Kyogo. Those chances that flash across the face. If you go back to the start of Kyogo's time at Celtic, he's had a few of those across the face.
Celtic again. Oh, that one somehow goes past about 4 bodies, and then Greg Taylor flashes it wide. This is an incredible football match because at the start Celtic couldn't get to the Aberdeen door. They're getting goodness knows how many opportunities now, but it's just not falling for them. Right, we've got 1 minute left. 1 minute. 0141 565 2468. Nicky Flynn, hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, 1750. Let's squeeze a little bit more out last minute. The signed and framed Pelly top, Gary Bailey from Bailey Landscaping, 1800. We're getting there. Hospitality for 4 at the Glasgow Clan, 400 from Plum Store, Bells Hill, Scott Leith. And family hospitality to Queen's Park, Ian Smith at 275. 1 minute. Come on, we can beat some of them. 0141 565 2468. Oh, great. 4 subs at once for Celtic. Mark Wilson,
Jota and Hatate and Kyogo have went off.
Forrest turnbull Giakoumakis
on. Would have taken Jota off. Well, he's been probably quiet.
I would have. I don't think he's offered much in the second half.
It's just 3 changes, just 3.
Turnbull's a good shout. I called that a couple of minutes ago. I think this game might suit him, and Giakoumakis definitely for Kyogo. So all out attack for Ange Postecoglou.
Yeah, Aberdeen's change might be a forced one. Miovski's been getting dealt with by the physio. He's, that walk that they do to let everyone know that they're injured. They've not been hooked. So Miovski goes off. Have we got a replacement yet for him? Johnny Hayes.
Yeah, well, they just go with one up top then. Put an extra player back.
Are we going 10 at the back now?
Yeah, probably will do. I think Jim will be happy with his lot. Look, if he gets set play and get ahead or whatever, he'll take it. But look, they've put so much work, so much effort in up until 73 minutes. Why now start putting players up the pitch and risk losing one at the back?
You'll never get a more welcome and lucky point, because it owes everything to what Celtic didn't do rather than to what Aberdeen did do.
Brilliant recovery from Jack McKenzie. Maybe that's the slight bit that Giakoumakis lacks. He's not rapid, quick, and Jack McKenzie was able to get back in. Right, those lots are closed, so let's go to Cassie for an update on how those finished, and then we're going to set up a full new batch between 2 and 3 o'clock. So we'll give you an hour on these as Celtic continue to knock on that door. Cassie?
Yes, okay, so hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford. There was a mad dash there, by the way, of a lot of us trying to get in. Sorry, hold on, 17, right, okay. Sorry, there was so many phone calls at the minute we sort of went live the last time we get all these calls in. So Hospitality for 4 at Old Trafford, donated by Monarch Transport. Mr Nicky Flynn from We Love Sales, £1,750. Also, we've got Scott McMillan, who bidded for the signed and framed Pelly top, £2,150 come in for that. Lot number 3, 4 hospitality tickets to a Glasgow Clan ice hockey game of your choice, donated by John Strange of Asprey, Glasgow West. That was Scott Slythe at Plum Store at Bells Hill, £400 for that one. And lot number 4 was the family hospitality package Queen's Park FC, donated by Queen's Park, and Ian Smith came in with that at £275.
Brilliant, thank you very much, very generous, and the children of Glasgow and the West who need your help will be eternally grateful, I'm sure of it. You see the difference that it makes. We're not talking about making any crazy gestures here, we're actually talking about getting children hot meals over the Christmas period, giving people that need it, safe and warm places to go. So we're just trying to make small differences that would be small, to maybe some of us, but a massive difference to people that do need it. So thank you very much. Those lots are finished. This is what you've got from now until 3 o'clock. Now let me quickly remind you, the John McGinn meet and greet, the signed shirt, the hospitality tickets to Aston Villa game of your choice before the end of the season, the overnights down there in Birmingham, still sitting at £3,000, George Boyd. And the All Roads Lead to Hampden prize, the 2 cup finals, the hospitality at Hampden, still Stuart Shaw from Cowell Building Supplies leading that with £2,750. You've got all day to bid on them, okay? Well, you've got till the end of the show, 01415652468. However, between now and 3 o'clock, this is what you've got. I know it's a lot of information. This day is all about a lot of information, but it makes such a difference. So here's what you've got then, 4 more prizes. Number 5, Scotland v Italy at Murrayfield, donated by Corinthian Sports. For any rugby fans out there, this is an unbelievable prize for you. The match day experience here will be top drawer. You get looked after at the rugby. Corinthian Sports will offer the Pegasus Lounge. That is a luxury suite inside the West Stand at Murrayfield. We're talking premium hospitality here, a high standard of food and drink before and after the game, and the very best seating to view all the action. So if you're a rugby fan, that's a dream. And even if you're not, what a day out that will be. Scotland v Italy, 18th of March. Premium hospitality, like the top stuff. You'll get well looked after, and it's for 2 people. So get your bids in on that one. Thank you again to Corinthian Sports. The next one, lot 6, donated by the Scottish FA. Very simple, it's a signed Scotland shirt. Tell you what, see if you're struggling for a good Christmas present for someone, if there's a Scotland fan out there, how good would that be? Think of all the big names that will be on that. Andy Robertson, John McGinn and the likes. And you never know, that could be the Scotland squad that reaches a World Cup in the not too distant or a Euros I should say, in the not too distant future, if we can win these Nations League playoffs that we've got guaranteed down the line. So why not bid for that? A signed shirt by the Scotland squad. Some really big names on that now. I know we used to scoff at the international team. We're not talking one cap wonders like Mark Wilson here.
Hold on,
we're talking Andy Robertson here. We're
the
talking
boss.
John McGinn.
Yep.
We're talking Kieran Tierney. We're talking Scott McTominay, and some of our home favourites from here as well, Callum McGregor, Ryan Jack, Nathan Pattersons of the world who've gone down south. So that's a brilliant prize. Get your bids in for that. Gordon Dalziel,
I'm not it.
get the chequebook. Lot number 7, Go. Hospitality for 2 at Motherwell FC. Thanks to Motherwell for donating it. It doesn't include cup ties, but it's hospitality for 2. It's pre-match meal, an inclusive bar no less, entertainment throughout the day, the game, half-time snacks, man of the match presentation, and a signed Motherwell ball as well. Surely you've got to go for that, Gordon Dalziel. Thank you to Motherwell for donating that one. And finally, something a bit different. Maybe you've got a young family and you want to get them into sport of a difference. Well, what about the Strathclyde Sirens? Family platinum season ticket for the Sirens Super League netball. 2 adults, 2 kids. Benefits include best seats in the house for every single home game in 2023. That's 9 games. Pre-match hospitality at 2 of those games, and then exclusive invites to pre-season events in Edinburgh, and all different discounts on Sirens merchandise. So if you've got a young family maybe, or you're a big netball fan, or maybe a frustrated netball player in your day, what a prize that is. It's season tickets, platinum season tickets no less, for 2 adults and 2 kids, donated by the Strathclyde Sirens. So I know that's a lot of info, my apologies, but it's for a good cause. You can see it on Twitter at Clyde SSB. Scotland v Italy at Murrayfield, all the best hospitality for 2. Signed Scotland shirt, hospitality for 2 at a Motherwell game, and your season tickets, platinum season tickets for the Sirens netball in the Super League. Those 4 lots are available until 3 o'clock, and you can bid on 0141 565 2460. Anyone else feel like talking for the next couple of minutes while I lie down?
You're doing a great job, Gordon. You carry on.
Yep. Well, I think we can say that Celtic look as if they have run out of ideas now. They've got 10 minutes to go, and it truly is the same old, and their fear should be an Aberdeen goal and a complete wreck of an afternoon, because they have tried everything. They've missed sitters, they've had good saves from the Aberdeen goalkeeper. Nothing has worked, and they're beating their head against a brick wall.
Every time Hugh Keevins says this, Celtic score. We've done this about 12 times this season.
I wouldn't be
no. Though, to be fair, that isn't guaranteed to happen every time. I just feel like we've been here before
100 times, and I think Postecoglou has been here before, and he's still got faith in the players. Look, I think Aberdeen have worked in this system brilliantly. You've got to give them credit. Is it good to watch if you're outside Aberdeen? No, it's not. But Jim Goodwin's not going to make apologies. Mark's talking about part of bus. Well, they've parked 50 seats behind and left 2 seats up. They've offered absolutely nothing.
They've
well, it's a 52 seats. It's a 52 seater.
What did he say? I missed it.
They parked 50 seats and left 2 seats up.
Yeah, 52 seater.
Jeez,
part
right,
of bus. But I just honestly think that 10 minutes plus a little bit of stoppage time. I know there weren't any in the first half, but obviously substitution, everything. I think Postecoglou will still be confident. I know the boys aren't.
But you said this half an hour ago. It was inevitable.
But also you do say every single time Celtic don't score, you say this, then they score, then you get ridiculed on Twitter, then you come back and do it the next week. So you're both as guilty as each other.
But I'm just going on the evidence of my eyes.
But you do that every week as well, and then the evidence, the glasses need cleaned, and eventually Celtic score. But you might be right this time. I do keep acknowledging that. You might be.
I'm going the evidence that Celtic have been in this position before, and if they unlock defence, I'm not saying
crosses like that they won't.
No, I was poor. I'm not saying that they will.
Where's Juranovic, Mark?
Yeah,
Celtic missing him.
The final ball from Celtic in those areas, even in the left hand side, have been poor today. Once they get to the touchline, Abada's been the only one who's put anything really decent in, but Ralston that time might have taken a slight bobble up. Let Aberdeen off the hook again.
Where we have definitely been before is you can anticipate the reaction, Hugh. Anytime a team plays like Aberdeen does, and gets something, the bigger clubs fans phone in and say it's anti-football, it's ruining the game, it's rubbish to watch. If you're Jim Goodwin, you rub your hands together, you've got a wee cheeky smile, you're a point better off, a point that people didn't expect you to get, and it might be a point that gets you third place or whatever at the end of the season. If you're just a neutral, you've switched it on and you've watched it, you won't be enjoying this, that's for sure.
When they come on and say it's anti-football, then you have to react by saying, well, what is Kyogo missing 2 sitters in front of goal? What is the shooting from outside the box that grew more and more feeble? The countless chances, the countless moments when they opened up the Aberdeen defence, second half in particular. This is about what Celtic haven't done rather than what Aberdeen did do.
Yeah, it's very it's very if you're outside Aberdeen saying very negative for Aberdeen, but it's actually brilliant organisation from Aberdeen. It's absolutely brilliant. Yes, you can look at Kyogo, he should put the ball in the back of it.
It's always going to be that way, isn't it? You're going to need that luck. The chances of you giving Celtic no chance, it's slim. So you need that when that one comes along, they fluff their lines. That's kind of what's happening.
And you need your goalkeeper in the first half who made a couple of good stops. So it's worked out pretty well to this stage for Aberdeen. I would give huge credit to those 3 midfielders in front of the back 5 for
Very
Aberdeen,
disciplined.
because that's a tough gig. When you've got guys like McGregor and O'Reilly and Hatate when they're on, now Turnbull, moving the ball and looking to probe, and get those little passes through. That's difficult to keep your discipline. So those 3 in particular have had a very good game without doing anything going the other way, of course. But this Celtic team, you've said it, Gordon, they always come up with an answer, and they've still got time. So I wouldn't be surprised if they nick something here.
Yeah, let's just let it play out and then we'll find out. It certainly hasn't looked immediately likely right now, but then again, they are fairly well known for finding solutions. 84 gone. Don't forget you have until 3 o'clock for those most recent 4 prizes that are read out in the auction. The Scotland-Italy rugby hospitality, the signed Scotland shirt, hospitality for 2 at Motherwell, and the family platinum season tickets for the Sirens netball. You've got until 3 o'clock for them. 0141565 2468. Ball into the box. I know that's what Giacomakis was brought on for, but Gordon, those are just hard. You're jumping high, you're throwing your head at it. Mackenzie's in there kind of putting him off. It goes harmlessly over.
Got to be a good header to beat the goalkeeper from that angle, Gordon. Got to be a better cross as well. Aberdeen, look, they'll be saying throw that ball in for the next 6-7 minutes, whatever it may be. We'll deal with that. You won't score. It's getting to that stage now that a bit of frustration creeping in from Celtic. Maybe trying just to force it a little bit because they're running out of time. But as I keep saying, Aberdeen are just defending and defending and defending.
Celtic have had 30 shots at goal, 8 on target. Aberdeen have had 1 shot at goal. Now, of course, you are more than entitled to say that doesn't matter, look at the scoreline. It's just to paint a picture, Mark, because we're on radio so people can't see it. That gives you an idea of how this game has gone.
And there was another stat just moments before that. Successful passes, Aberdeen 91, Celtic 647. So that kind of tells you, that along with the attempts at goal, tells you how this game's went. A lot of the game has been spent in and around the Aberdeen box, without too many clear-cut chances. Obviously the Kyogo one stands out. Abada's one, maybe.
Kyogo's is unbelievable. That's a proper sitter at any level, isn't it?
Yeah, without doubt. But apart from that,
you sum this up quite simple, Mark. Joe Hart will not have an easier afternoon in football. He could take him off.
Greg Taylor tries to cut it back this time rather than flashing it, but it goes to an Aberdeen player. Celtic then win it back. I thought they maybe would have got a free kick, but I don't know if there was actually that much in it. So Turnbull looks to line one up. Abada then, his touch, he's got a bit of an angle. And it's a save at the near post. I'm not sure it was going in.
No.
But it's another big sighted goal, and Celtic have a corner.
But the goalkeeper can't risk that. He's got to make sure of the save. So once again, champing at the door. Once again, Aberdeen have got the answers, not letting them in.
The door analogies are tiring me out. I think we need to find something new. Here comes James Forrest. That's blocked. It bobbles around in the box. This is remarkable.
Yeah. And Aberdeen, listen, if you're an Aberdeen defender, I mean, you're thinking, I'm doing my job here. That's what they're put there to do. Jim would have worked in this tirelessly, this formation, certain scenarios that might pop up in the game, and it's going to plan so far, but
not anymore. It's not. There up steps Callum McGregor.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvement.
And Hugh Keevins will learn one day, not today or tomorrow or the day after that, but he will learn one day. I'll try my best. It's Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1, and it's Callum McGregor, the captain. He's back. He's back in the team, and he's popped up with what could be a vital goal come the end of the season, and a stunning one at that.
Plus the fact, great shout from Wilson next to me.
Shoot outside the box.
Well done, but it's good player.
You know your stuff.
Forrest, come on, he's what, 19, 20 yards out, maybe, not even that. It's a great link up from Forrest. He just puts a wee back heel on it and says to his captain, go on then, aim for a back post and see what the goalkeeper's got. Response, he ain't getting near that. That's
how
a
clean is that,
strike.
Mark Wilson?
It's a brilliant strike. A player with so much ability who's done that time and time again over the years, and it's a fabulous strike to put in my head. You've got to say, it's the one time that Aberdeen midfield just weren't there to close him down. 18, 19 yards out. Like I said it before, if you give players like him too many opportunities, they will find the target. And luckily enough for Celtic, Callum McGregor's right in the corner. Roos got absolutely no chance.
Kenny Haddon had just tweeted me saying, is the curse of Shinjuku Shog going to happen once more? Yes, is the answer.
I had a suspicion it might.
You weren't saying that 5 minutes ago.
Oh, you should see his face.
It's a stunning goal from the captain, and to be fair to McGregor, first game back in a long time. He's worked tirelessly. I mean, you'd have thought that he might not have lasted the 90 minutes, but clearly Ange Postecoglou.
Do you know what though? It's set up a very interesting few minutes, because Aberdeen are now giving this a right go. They've been woken up. They've had one shot on goal to Celtic's 30 plus, and now Aberdeen are coming into the box, and wouldn't this be a dramatic end to the match, as if we've not had one already?
Something, and it's the first time Celtics came under any pressure, but you would think that they've just left it too late to mount any sort of pressure on Celtic, and what that does is leave you open at the back, and Celtic will look to counter.
You highlighted just 5 minutes prior, Mark, and you were quite right about the midfield three and the job that they were doing. But to do it against a team that's got so much possession and got the quality they've got, the movement for 90 plus minutes, at one point you're going to switch off. Great play, great link-up play with Celtic. It's a good move by Forrest. He knows what McGregor's doing. Says to him, on you go, and the captain takes on that left foot, and you're thinking, he hits the target here, he's got to cause problems. Fantastic strike.
It's a wonderful goal, and Aaron Moy is about to be introduced. Celtic making another change. Is that their fifth and final? I think it is. Aaron Moy to replace Matt O'Reilly, who's probably not had his best game, Mark, but at the same time, a performance like this impacted those creative midfielders the most, doesn't it? Because they're then just judged on finding like the perfect pass all the time.
Well, the spotlight's firmly on them because everybody's thinking it's got to be them, unlocks the door. But you know, it's not been his day. It's not been one of his better performances, and on comes Moy, who's coming off the back of a very, very good World Cup. Good sub to bring on in the closing minutes.
It's very fine lines in football because Jim may come in for a little bit of criticism from the Aberdeen supporters, but he's nearly got a point. He's nearly got a point. It's just fine lines in the modern day game.
Well, I mean, the Celtic shooting from the outside of the box or the 18-yard line has been feeble all day long, and up pops McGregor with the sweetest strike you're likely to see.
I'm always look. This conversation can come back to bite us if Aberdeen go and rescue something in the last few minutes, and I'm always sympathetic. Hugh, it's ingrained in me as a team, as a fan of a so-called smaller team. It's tough when you play against the teams with all the millions. You know, you can't always open up and have a go. But if you're Aberdeen and you're at home, do you think some fans will be asking the question, is it enough to just hope that Celtic's shooting from outside the box is off, and to just hope that Kyogo is going to miss a sitter? Because, and look, we've had a bit of fun with your predictions, I'm not making it about that. You know, this Celtic team tends to find a way. So is it enough to just hope that they randomly don't?
In the week when the owner of the club has been asking the local authorities for money to build a new stadium, and talking about how it would be the focal point of the city, and what the club means to the city and what they could do for the city, then you're right, you should think more of yourself than to simply hope that Celtic have one of those days and then get caught out minutes from the end. And they have in Majowski, for example, a player who scored 12 goals this season, 11 of them at Pittodrie. You should have been playing to his strengths rather than hoping to find Celtic weaknesses.
Right, we're into 4 minutes added on. We've played 2 of them, so 2 to go. Let me give you a very quick update. These prizes, remember, are running until 3 o'clock. Joe Robinson from Eagle Couriers is winning the Scotland v Italy at Murrayfield hospitality package. Yeah, let's hold on, because Aberdeen are into the box and it's not a convincing touch away by Anthony Ralston.
I think Carter Vickers does well there just to slow, was it Johnny Hayes there down, because he's a tricky little player who's got a bit of pace still, but he slows him down and allows Ralston to get back.
So Joe Robinson's in front on that package for the Scotland v Italy at Murrayfield hospitality. It's great hospitality as well, and it's 4-2, so I think we can do more than the £350 bid there. This is very difficult to do this at the end of a... there we go, Aberdeen shoot over. The signed Scotland shirt, Douglas Noon leading that with £150. I think we can definitely get more. Andy Robertson, Kieran Tierney, John McGinn, Callum McGregor, Ryan Jack, Nathan Patterson, Craig Gordon, name who you want, all on that signed shirt. I think we can do better than 150, but you've got till 3 o'clock. Gordon Dale, what are you giving us for the hospitality for 2 at Motherwell? Stuart Shaw is leading with £300. You'll be worth a few more than that, no?
Me? I've been married 3 times. You don't have £300 if you're married 3 times.
And we've not got any bid yet for the family platinum season tickets for the Sirens 2023 netball. That'll be a great prize if you've got maybe young kids that are into playing netball, or you think it's time to go and check out a new family fun sport. That's a great opportunity. It's a platinum season ticket, so it's 9 games plus various other benefits. You're getting well looked after, 2 adults, 2 kids. We don't even have any bids yet, so 01415652468. Those 4 prizes are running for another 40 minutes. Let's get those bids in. and we're almost done at Pittodrie as well. The small matter.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Hart.
None of your
us.
World Cup added on time, Hugh, of
No.
9 or 10 minutes.
No.
4 minutes, and the 4 minutes is just a bit up. And
no VAR checks, remember? Not a single one.
I forgot about VAR today.
Well,
that's
listen,
the way
hold
it
on.
should be.
I think some of the language is misleading. Let's bear in mind that VAR is watching
Constant,
the game
yeah.
always as it goes on. But in terms of the stoppage for the official check, and certainly not ref over to the monitor, none of them. Brilliant run from James Forrest. That is exactly what you need. Experienced campaigner, take you up the pitch, win a corner, and it will be the last action of the game, you would have imagined.
You can't begrudge Celtic 3 points. They've done everything today up until that 80 plus minute before putting the ball in the back of the net. That's the only thing that was missing. Joe Hart's had not had a save. They've had so much possession, shots, missed sitters. They deserve the 3 points because they've been miles ahead of Aberdeen. But to be fair, we can put up the argument for Jim Goodwin. He's up against a quality side. He's already said it, and the game's over.
Full time, Andrew McLean.
Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1, the full-time score at Pittodrie, and it's the late show from Ange Postecoglou's men once again, with returning captain Callum McGregor getting the vital goal 3 minutes from time. Celtic dominated the whole game but found themselves frustrated for most of it. Kellaroos having to make 2 first-half saves, the first one from Jota's strike, then a brilliant stop to deny Rio Hatate a few minutes later. Leila Bada came on for Dyson Maeda at the break. He caused problems right away. He played the ball across the face of goal for Kyogo, who somehow didn't get the right contact to put Celtic ahead. He really should have scored that one. Abada also had a shot of his own saved a few minutes later. Kyogo squandered another couple of close raised chances after that before Postecoglou made some more changes. Celtic kept pushing into the final 10 minutes. Kellaroos turned Abada's shot from an angle over the bar. It looked as if it may not be their day, but you can never write Celtic off and step up Callum McGregor. 87 minutes on the clock, edge of the box. I had a great angle from it from my seat as well. He drilled it low and hard right into the bottom corner to grab all 3 points for the visitors. What an impact from the returning skipper. The full-time score here at Pittodrie: Aberdeen 0, Celtic 1.
Very quickly, Mark Wilson, how would you sum that up?
Well, Celtic obviously deserved it. You know, they kept patient. They tried everything to get the breakthrough. They got to the byline. They put things across the face of the goal, and it all didn't work until their captain, who they have relied on so much over the years, pops up with a fantastic strike. Like Daz just said there moments ago, it is much deserved, the 3 points. It would have been harsh for Ange Postecoglou's side to go away here with a draw, and they march on to the next game, but thoroughly deserved in the end.
You just wondered if it was ever going to open up for them, and we highlighted how important it was for Callum McGregor for the break, the World Cup break, to get back to that fitness. He showed his worth today, captain, leader. I thought the substitutions made a good impact at half time. Abada looked very lively, caused problems down the right hand side, but Aberdeen will be disappointed. They worked very hard, very disciplined, but against Celtic, they just, no matter what you do, they seem to find a way, no matter if it's in the first 5-10 minutes or the last 5-10 minutes, and thoroughly deserves 3 points.
Ange Postecoglou goes over to take the acclaim of the Celtic fans. He's whipping them up a bit. He's shown a bit more passion than he sometimes does. Kyogo's been doing his now trademark dance. Andrew McLean, you get the feeling they hope and maybe anticipate this turning out to be a big result come the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Pittodrie is a really tough place to come, and Celtic absolutely dominated. They deserved their 3 points, but if they drop points, I was going to say it would maybe open the door. It still would have been 7 points between Celtic and Rangers, but to keep it at 9, they'll need to wait and see what happens with Rangers, whether there is a resurgence under Michael Beale. But it doesn't really matter for Celtic at the moment, especially if they keep winning and keep on getting these results, whether it's big victories by big margins or these ones where Celtic just managed to grind it out in the end and get that late goal. We've seen it a good few times from Celtic. Ange Postecoglou, no doubt he'll say it again after the match. It's that attitude of "we never stop." That's his catchphrase. He says it all the time, and Celtic once again leaving it late but getting all 3 points, and you think it could be a big 3 points as well.
Absolutely, and keep your bids coming. Remember those 4 prizes: Scotland Italy, hospitality for 2 Murrayfield, signed Scotland shirt, hospitality for 2 at Motherwell, and the family platinum season tickets for the Sirens netball. You've got until 3 o'clock. We'll build up to the 3 o'clock games. I'll update you in the bids, and we'll continue to look back on Pittodrie next.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Podcast with Luker's Jaguar, the new name for Taggarts. The same friendly faces and great service with a new name above the door.